Like, well, I think this is my time to exit. My second semester, I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is really for me. I'm sitting in on like a 8 o'clock in the morning lecture hall with like 100-some people talking about art history since 1955. Guys just up pacing around in the front, just, want. This sucks. And so midterm came around and there was like 3 essay questions up on the board. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at like everybody else in the room and they're all just like busy, just writing stuff down. So I just got up, turned my blank piece of paper in, my pen, and I was out of there. I think during that time that I worked there, I think I figured out like, okay, I don't really like how this is going and this is what I would do differently. And so eventually you start thinking about like, okay, if I was running the show, like this is what I would do, kind of stuff. And then I want to start my own shop.
Welcome back. Another episode of Oil and Whiskey. This week we've got Trent Lewis of Midwest Metalworks. All one word on Instagram, Midwest Metalworks. Sometimes forget to do that, so I'm going to do it right there at the beginning.
Good plug.
Give everybody,
Good.
Nicely done.
Give their little call outs, right?
Yeah. For various reasons, towards the end of some of these podcasts, we forget to do that.
lots of forgetting to do things. Yeah,
Sure.
And then we should do all the important shit at the beginning.
Yeah.
Trent, good to have you, man.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Just a few hours away, right there, up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think it's like about 4.5. So I'm kind of west central Wisconsin, about an hour and a half straight east of Minneapolis. I guess is the best way to just describe it. So, yep.
Glad to have you. And you brought probably you brought the nicest prepared gift baskets that we've ever seen. Finally curated.
Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wisconsin's got a lot of great stuff going for it.
They do, yeah. We got some different cheeses in there.
Did you did all the layout of that yourself?
I might have had some help with my wife.
Okay.
She's pretty good at
judge you a little bit
and stuff. So
I didn't want to say, did your wife do that? But yeah.
No, I got all the stuff, and but yeah, I got the basket, and I'm like, all right, help me lay this thing.
Yeah, it's prepared nicely. It's definitely something that
I bought more than what's there, but so
you probably killed a little bit of on the ride here.
Yeah, the rest of it's down in the truck, but I brought a bag of coffee from Motivator. So that's a friend of mine from Appleton, Wisconsin, Austin Peruche.
Yeah,
and
so Austin.
He started a coffee company, and so they donate some of the profits to the trade schools, trade skills, stuff like that. So, it's great product. I mean, it's great coffee, and then it's going for a great cause too.
That is cool. I've been seeing that popping up. I follow him, and we worked together on a project not too long ago. Great dude, talented guy, and I've been seeing that. It's cool stuff.
Yep.
Something I got to snag some to.
Yeah, where can you get it? Can you get it on their website?
I got a couple more bags down in the truck. I brought for each one of you guys. So
Motivator coffee.
That's right up your alley too, Josh. It's got the whaling wings kind of thing going on for it.
It looks really good. Great packaging.
It is good packaging.
Yep.
Let's see.
Had to bring some old style, of course. That's from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and then Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous, but made a fool out of me. And then our neighbors then to the west is Minnesota, so I had to bring some hams.
That's
of course.
A great looking can.
Yeah, great logo.
I didn't realize that old style hails from Wisconsin. I figured that was like a Chicago. It's so like prevalent in Chicago, but you see it everywhere.
Yeah, we used to call it dog pile.
Yeah, old pile.
Yep.
Old vial.
So hams. So this just seems like something that like it's an accessory for your rat rod. Kind of, it's got the right look where
like an overflow.
Theme to it.
Cuff your jeans, you get a little patina, hot rod. You dream
it's got a great logo.
Well, so PBR used to be that way until the hipsters ruined PBR. So I had to stop drinking PBR and find some other shitty domestic beers to latch on to.
Well, thanks, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming, dude. I've been following you for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. You're one of my go-to Instagram accounts that I get a lot of inspiration from.
Oh,
You know,
Jesus.
I love watching.
You need to get
I
out
love
more.
I love watching metal shape, and I can live vicariously through guys like you,
Okay.
and be like, oh, that's badass. That's cool. Sort of wish I did that. Man, that'd be fun to do. Dude's doing some great work. So it's always cool watching what you do. You present it well.
Appreciate
and,
it.
always got some cool projects in there.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate that. I was telling my wife when you guys sent the invite for me that you guys either felt sorry for me or I must be doing something right. So.
I think you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. It's it's an interesting spin that I guess you work by yourself with a small crew, or
Yeah, I've had some employees, in the past, and some other people that I've subcontracted, and currently, as of this week, I am back on my own,
flying solo.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it's an interesting take to get, and we haven't had anybody on here that really sort of a one-man band. So
Yeah.
I think you do it well, and you also, while doing it, have a great image. So it's cool to just talk through sort of how that started, what the vision is, how it's going, how do you enjoy that? Is that your chosen way of working, or did it just sort of did things steer it that way? Being that
That's
it's
a lot of questions.
so damn hard to find anybody. I got a lot. I'm thinking a lot.
Like,
Thinking a lot.
shit ton
Yeah.
of questions.
No, it's great questions, loaded questions. But yeah, I think it's definitely important, and you guys have had a great variety of people coming in here, from big shops to people that are up and coming, young talent. You guys have had people that are influencers in the industry, through the public policy, things like that. So you guys have done a great job covering all of those bases. So yeah, I think having that small mom and pop, one man band, kind of shop, was definitely, I guess, something that you guys need to do next. I feel very honored, to be a part of that. And so is it something that I choose? Yes and no. I think I'm definitely a control freak by nature. So I kind of want to do everything and do it my way, because I feel that's the best way of doing things. But I also realize that as I'm getting older, that I don't have the time to devote to certain things. So that's where I've decided to, hire people. And I've got a interview with a guy on Monday to come and just do stuff in the office for me, do my invoicing, do my updating, go and get parts for me, order parts, run some errands for me, because I don't want to fucking do that anymore.
Yeah.
Takes you away from bending metal too, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm 70% maybe billable, throughout the day. And that's, a 10, 12 hour day, something like that. My shop is right next to my house, which is a blessing and it's a curse at the same time, because you just don't know when to quit. And I'm always out there, into the evening and, on the weekends. That's about the only time I get a chance to work on my own stuff. So yeah, it's, I guess right now it's kind of in limbo, I've got the feelers out looking for somebody else, but we've got to be able to mesh and blend. And I've got a certain way of how I like to do things. And if I see something that they're doing that I don't like, I like to address it right away. So are they receptive to that kind of feedback? Because I've had a range of people, where they get pretty upset, or, they don't want to hear it, or they're open to it, but then they kind of plateau. They can't rise to the occasion. So
yeah, I'd imagine when you're working sort of in that capacity, anybody that you bring on, I mean, that's sort of like a marriage. It's a relationship. You don't have the, here you bring on.
It's just you and them.
Yeah, you bring somebody on here, an individual can sort of get lost, or there can be some personality quirks or things where you don't mesh, and you can make it work. When that person's working alongside you for 12 hours a day, that's tough.
Yeah, and I've got a very particular way of how I like to do things. I like to have my shop clean and orderly. If if you're going to do something, do it and then pick up after yourself, like find it the way that, or leave it the way that you found it, and if you're going to go into the bathroom, use the bathroom, clean up after yourself, don't make it look like a baby elephant washed themselves and,
that's a difficult one. Believe it or not.
I just call them out. I'll be like, hey, dude, Code Brown in the bathroom.
The problem is
like,
you know who did it.
Oh yeah.
The problem we have is
we try to identify based on the trajectory of the things that are on the back of the wall, and
based on the level of disaster. You've got to play.
That's a conversation I have with a lot of shop owners. Surprisingly, that comes up a lot. Is the
don't understand it
that bathrooms just get destroyed in a shop environment, and you're like, what the fuck? I mean,
what does it look like at home?
I've seen Taco Bell do some damage, right? But like nothing like that. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it's a third world country in there sometimes. Like where did that small animal come from?
But again,
it's a rabbit. Why is there a rabbit in here?
When it's just you and one other guy in there, that makes it all that much. There's no questioning what the hell happened and who did it.
Hey,
oh yeah.
You got something to tell me?
No covering that one.
Are you okay?
You mind running? You mind running over to Home Depot and getting some new drop ceiling tiles, dude? However that happened, I don't know.
How did all this get started? In your training, I want to hear some about your background.
So, like, how did I get in the industry, or how did I? Okay. So I guess like right out of high school, I had never done like a shop class or anything like that. I was kind of an art geek, and I like drawing, painting, sculpture, like all that kind of stuff, and always wanted to go into art school. And my junior year, I had gotten accepted to some art schools and things like that. And then it was like right away fall of senior year. We had a guy that had graduated a few years before that come into our high school, talk to like our art class, and he was going to like the Savannah Art Institute, and
SCAD.
Yep. And great school. And he was like, yeah, if you guys have like any doubt whatsoever, don't do it. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, I think I got some doubts, so I'm not going to do that. And so
like college sent him up there as a recruiter.
Yeah, hell of a
sales pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna hang back. I'm gonna go to UWEC. So that's University of Wisconsin Eau Claire. So so I live in Eau Claire now. My brothers were going to school there at that time. That's where our family's originally from, and so I'd moved back up there my senior year of high school. And so I took general classes and some art classes, stuff like that. Really liked it, first semester. And then by second semester, I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is really for me. And, going in and sitting in on like a, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, lecture hall with like 100-some people talking about art history since 1955. And this old guy's just up pacing around in the front, just, want. And I'm just like, oh, this sucks. And so midterm came around, and I walked in, sat down at the table, and it was, there was like 3 essay questions up on the board. And you had a blank piece of paper and pencil or pen or whatever. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at like everybody else in the room, and they're all just like busy, just writing stuff down. Like, well, I think this is my time to exit. So I just got up, turned my blank piece of paper in, my pen, and I was out of there. I never went back to that class. I didn't go back to any of my other classes except for my sculpture class that I had. And he was a car guy, and I got exposed to doing like some metal smithing and things like that. And so at that time I decided I'm going to sell my motorcycle, which I had gotten brand new when I was a senior in high school. All my paychecks from working shitty jobs in high school, I saved up every paycheck, and then senior year, I was able to walk into the Harley dealership and get a brand new 883 Sportster. And so, yeah, I spent all my graduation money from high school, like buying
with the T-shirts and stuff, right, to go with the jean jackets.
I didn't get any of that. I got seat and bars and grips and you know did about as much as you could to that thing, and I kind of outgrew that and started working on cars, and my friend Freddie exposed me to he had built a muscle car when he was in high school, and so we'd go over to his parents' house, and he was in the process of kind of revamping that thing. So I was going over there, and when I was cutting class from the university, helping out there, and his dad was just a delegator. He was just a ball buster. Oh, great, glad you're here. Here, go do this and do that. And so, it's kind of a gopher in the beginning, and then eventually sold my motorcycle and decided to go to the tech school in Eau Claire and went for auto body, and because I wanted to be a painter, and realized how much I did not like doing body work and paint, through that. But I liked my related welding class. So I went back to school, went through the welding program. And at that time I was working on my own car. So I had sold my motorcycle, and I think it was a month into auto body school, I took my instructor over to look at a car with me, and it was a 1950 Ford Club Coupe. And so he's like, yeah, it's kind of a piece of shit. It's loaded with Bondo. I'm like, perfect.
That's what I need.
Yep. So yeah, I bought that, and my grandma was kind enough to let me take over her detached two-car garage, and had one outlet in that garage, and it was somewhat insulated, but it was awesome, to be able to do that, and so yeah, I built my first car there. That got me into my first.
Would you go
job.
tail dragger?
It was kind of lowered pretty much evenly all around. It was slammed to the ground, so I did like Fat Man Fab, front rear suspension setup on it, disc brake conversion, 350 small block. I initially had a turbo 350, but I changed that out to a 700 R4. 8-inch Ford rear end. Yeah, it was a pretty cool car.
Shoeboxes don't get a lot of love. You haven't seen.
Well, it's a very simple car, yet a very difficult car to do right.
Yeah, to get the top right and get it to sit right.
People don't do them justice that often, but when they do, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely colored outside the lines on that.
Yeah. You're just filling the latter category then of the.
Yeah, it was flat black, gloss black flames, red pinstripe outline, and
red wheel, red steelies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Hot rod. He said he built his fucking hot rod, dude. It's
Coker Classics. About the cheapest tires you can get for it, but hey, they worked. And
those jeans are probably a little cuffed, right?
Oh yeah. Just had the Rockabilly starter kit,
just
Social D t-shirts,
just enough room on those pedals for those Chuck Taylors.
Oh yeah, yep. So yeah, went down to 100-car pileup with it.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we did I didn't take it out there, but we did the Viva Las Vegas, top of the Gold Coast casino.
I remember
parking ramp.
All the magazine articles about that. I never went there to that show, but
car culture.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, it's like taking the escalators, going up there, and then like all of a sudden, like the lights are hitting up there. It was quite the experience.
This era-wise, this early 2000s.
Yeah, so this would have been when I went into. So I graduated high school in 2001. So I went into the auto body program. I think it was spring 2003, after my debacle with the university, and I think I took off a semester because I couldn't get into the auto body program right away. So it was like, I think it was like January 2003, and then when we were out in like Viva, that was like 2005, 6, something like that. So yeah. I took pictures of that car like while I was building it and while I was going to school too, finishing up the welding program. I got a job working in it was like a collision shop, hot rod shop called Scott's Auto Body, and they're actually like 15 minutes away from like where I live and have my shop right now. And so I got kind of my start like in there, and I worked there for about like 3 months, like full time after I graduated, I think, and then I got offered a job at Muscle Car Restorations in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Yep. And so they're kind of like known for their like Mopar muscle car like restorations and stuff. And so my friend Freddie was working there at the time, and so he arranged a interview at a like a trade show beer garden for me to get interviewed by the general manager.
Okay.
So always a good setup for a job interview in a beer garden.
Yeah. They seem like maybe more like a formal sort of company though, right? Like it's a bigger operation, professional image. I've seen their stuff out there. It's high-end work, like nice looking restorations. Yeah,
so when I worked there, it was like 20 some employees, in there. They had 6 buildings. So I was a metal tech there, and I worked there for about 3 years. But yeah, they had metal department, body department, parts, and then final assembly and stuff too. So, but yeah, they've been around since I think like 89. Yeah. I think. So yeah, I think they venture out a little bit more from just the normal kind of like OE Mopar stuff, but I guess I don't know. I haven't been up there in quite a while.
How was the restoration side of metal tech? The lack of creativity there, where it's just it's repair, it's welding, but you're still getting to do metal for a living. So
yeah, I mean, I was definitely grateful to get the opportunity to work there, and I worked with some amazing people that have been in the trade for decades, and so I just kind of watched what they did and asked them questions, and they were happy to like give me feedback and help me and so I learned a lot from them. But yeah, it gets to be like when you're doing like the same 68 Roadrunner, Charger, it gets to be pretty repetitive. But I was fortunate enough. We were working on a 39 Lincoln Zephyr a lot of the time. That I was there. They had a Art Morrison chassis for it, and they brought in a guy then to help with chopping the top on it. And so he was going to teach me how to do it, and he had chopped like 40 some cars before that or something like that. And so they brought him in. He was this old Vietnam vet, and he had learned how to TIG weld when he was in Saigon repairing helicopters and stuff. And he was just kind of a surly, quick-witted guy, and so yeah, he was in there for maybe, I don't know, it was like the first couple of weeks, and we got the car set up on a chassis table, and the whole bottom like 6 inches of the car was just like completely rotted, and so we had to repair that stuff, and we suicided the doors, and we kind of did all this other stuff, and then after a couple of weeks of working on that stuff and getting kind of a foothold on some of those projects, he's like, well. It's like, I'm going to give you kind of a list of stuff to do, and, it's Thursday afternoon. I think I might just kind of take off and, now, and I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So just, do this stuff while I'm gone. I'll come back on Monday. And so he came back on Monday, and he's like, yeah, this looks good. Well, let's do this here this week. And then like kind of Wednesday or after lunch came around, he's like, well, you think you got it taken care of here the rest of the week? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. So then I'm going to skate the rest of the week.
It's heading up to the VFW.
Yeah. So it just So it just like progressively got like shorter and shorter weeks until like he would just call me on like Monday and be like, oh, you think you got it figured out for this week? I'm like, yep. All right, sounds
Yeah,
good.
sweet gig.
I'll check with you next week. So yeah, he was great, and he's turned into to be a great mentor over the years, and I've learned a lot. He's big into like woody wagons, so he puts together 33, 34 Ford woody wagons, and he's got all the blueprints and stuff, and machines them on a Bridgeport and everything like that. So he's a pretty sharp guy.
That's wild.
Yeah, those guys are very impactful in the development of a young fabricator.
Yeah.
Either way, good or bad. Sometimes you get a guy like that's got a chip on his shoulder and isn't willing to offer up any of his years of experience or information. Yeah, I've been there
with that.
been there, done that, and it's But that also helps too because you do it in spite of them.
Yeah. Motivation.
Yeah.
Through that, you're wanting to learn the craft. And do you have an idea of what your ideal, career path would be? Or are you just like, you know what? I'm learning every day. I'm working on cars.
I think starting out, it was just trying to keep my head above water and learn as much as I could. And then I think during that time that I worked there, I think I figured out okay, I don't really like how this is going, and this is what I would do differently. And so eventually you start thinking about okay, if I was running the show, this is what I would do, kind of stuff. And then, of course too, throughout, I guess, my whole career, even, as late as this last week, I've always looked at the stuff that I'm doing and, you self-critique and think about, okay, how can I do this better? What are the other processes that I can do and learn and grow from here? And so I guess my plan then after a while was I want to start my own shop, and I want to be my own boss, and I don't really want to do restoration, but if I do any sort of restoration work, I want it to be oddball stuff that you can't just pick up the phone and call year one like we did there. And, so yeah, I had to make a change, and I left there. I learned as much as I could, and I left there, and I went to work for another shop that, they were like a collision shop, but then behind the collision shop, they had a kind of a hot rod shop. And so they did restoration and some street rod stuff and things like that. And there I could I could do metal, body, paint, and assembly. And so I wanted to get better at my metal work. So I figured the best way of doing that was, I need to be my own body department too, and do the body side of it then too. So that's where I started getting away from doing a lot of the wire feed, zap, shit, panels in, and started, doing more TIG welding and things like that. Yep. And then, so I worked there for about a year and a half. And so while I was working there, my girlfriend had moved back to the area, so who's now my wife. So she's from Colombia. We were dating before, and she was here on a visa, and then she had to leave because her visa was up, and then she got another one about year and a half later, and so she came back, and I said, well, you're not going back this time. So I'm like, we're going to get married, and we're going to buy a house and this. And so prior to that, I had started collecting equipment. I had asked my boss, the owner of that shop that I was working at, hey, is it all right if I get some stuff delivered here, from time to time? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was getting sheet metal brakes delivered there. I was getting bead rollers, slip rollers, and stuff like that.
You must have been asking some questions at some point.
Yeah.
So how long are you going to be here?
Yep. So, and so me and my car club, we had a shop together that we were renting. And so I had initially started working on some stuff there, chopping tops and things like that, and kind of getting ready, to make the plunge of having my own shop, my own building and stuff. And so I got the first call. It was from a guy that had contacted somebody that I had worked with at MCR. And he's like, yeah, I initially contacted this guy, but he's not interested in doing the car. But I've got a 34 Ford 5-window coupe, and I'm from New Jersey. I just moved to the La Crosse area, and I've had the car since I was 16. I'm, retired now, and I'd like to finally build the car, and so you came recommended. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't have a spot to work on it right now. We're losing our car club shop, and I said, full transparency, my girlfriend's coming back into town. We're getting married, and we're going to buy a house, and I'm looking for a shop and everything like that on the property. And if you can wait until then, I'd be happy to do your car for you. He's like, I've waited this long. I might as well, wait a little bit longer. So yeah, that was my first client.
Oh, that's wild.
Yep. So
Big
I did
move. Marry, house, shop, start a business.
It was all in the
one
same.
shot.
It was all in the same day too.
Might as well get them all out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got married. Okay, so yeah, Mr. Romantic. I took a half day off the day that we got married. I worked in the morning at the shop, and then took the half day off. Got married at the courthouse. We had like no money, and because she couldn't work legally, and I wasn't going to risk any of that stuff. And so I'm like, here's like $30. Can you get like a wedding dress with $30? and so yeah, we got married at the courthouse.
She was fine. She was.
Oh yeah.
She was going to have to not worry about that visa thing anymore. She wasn't thinking about the wedding dress.
Yeah, she married me for all my money. Yeah. So
$30.
Yep. So yeah, we got married at the courthouse, and then we went out to eat at a local restaurant, and then down to a local bar. Then after that, and our realtor shows up with the signed agreement for the place that we had put a offer in on. So that, yeah, it basically married, offer accepted on the house, and I knew right away, all right, well, this is the start of the business then. So 27 years old, I probably should have had my head examined, but yeah, if you're going to go into it, go all the way. So yeah, I think I did that for about 6 months, like working full time and then doing my shop full time. And I'd go into work at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd be done at 4:30, be home by like 5, hang out with my wife for maybe hour and a half, and then I was out in the shop the rest of the night. And then it'd be like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like, I can't keep doing this. So yeah, saw an opportunity, and I had enough kind of clients banked at that time that I'm like, approached my boss, and like, I've got an opportunity to do this full time. And so I did it then, and yeah, worked on some really cool projects after that. And then I think it was about a year into my business at that time where I got a call then to be involved with 1938 Graham that went out to Detroit in 2016, won a grade 8, and then it was out at Battle of the Builders in SEMA. I think you guys were.
Is it like a dark bronze or brown?
Maroon?
It's maroon, yep.
What's the thought process to go off and do this on your own? What drove you to do that, and why was that the goal? Was it the freedom of it? Was that you weren't getting the type of projects or the type of work that you wanted to do? You just wanted to be by yourself? What was the driving factor behind that?
Yeah, I think
Clean shitter. He wanted a clean shitter. It turns out that didn't happen.
There's that.
yeah, sure, that's part of it. Absolutely. No, I think like to have the opportunity to work with the client on their project, and meet their expectations, and even go beyond that. And then push it as far as I could too, not being satisfied with, doing just the stuff that I was doing, but, how far can we take this, and with the technology that's out there, the skill set that's out there, being able to, construct a car like completely, the chassis, the fab work, the metal, mechanical mock-up, like all that stuff. I wanted to be a part of like building an entire car, and I just didn't have the chance to do that, and then to be able to, all right, let's do this the best that we can do it. All right, we've completed this one. What are we going to do differently on the next one, to make that even better, so.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the Gram. What was that process? Did you do it? What did you do at your shop? You said you were commissioned to do some stuff on it.
Yeah, so initially I was just commissioned just to make some parts. So I had to make rocker panels for it, and then I came out and did like a round bar buck for the quarter panels and the tail panel and the rear window, like back panel. And at that time, I was an English wheel guy, so I shaped all that stuff on an English wheel and brought out like the larger blanks of it. And they had a couple of guys working at the shop where it was being built at, but they didn't have any idea what to do with that stuff.
Year one didn't have those parts in stock for a Gram.
No. Yeah, because it was a 4-door that they turned into a 5-window coupe, and so they're like, well, do you think you could come out maybe a couple days a week and just give a hand with doing this stuff? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I can do that. But you guys know, like, a couple days a week, like finally get into like a momentum, and it's like, now we got to stop doing what we're doing. Yep. So then it became like, well, I'll be here a week, and then I'm going to be in my shop a week, because I had a couple of projects I was working on then. I had a 32 2-door in there, and then I had a 41 Willys original steel car that I was rebuilding and doing like a early 60s gasser with that thing. That thing turned out really cool. And so by the time I was done with that one, then it was like, I kind of cleared the slate with the projects that I had in my shop. And then it's like, well, we're building this car to go to Detroit. I mean, I'm in my late 20s at the time, and I'm like, I'm probably never going to have this opportunity again. So the clients that I had, asking for projects, then I kind of called them up and just said, like, it's going to be like a couple more years, and if you want to wait, great. If you don't, like, I understand, but like, this is my opportunity. So then it was like full-time working on the stuff there. And I was mainly in that shop. I would bring like some of my equipment over there. At the time, I didn't have like the setup there, like the power hammers and pull maxes. And it was like, while I was working on that stuff, I'm like, there's got to be a better way of doing this. Like, I had a power bead roller and everything like that. And I'm just like, this just isn't cutting it.
Just like doing like pictures and stuff, artwork on aluminum. Is it mostly?
Yeah.
Diamond tufted panels and things like that.
Thing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Betty Boop. Yeah. Some dice.
Nice.
So,
where did the metal shape and stuff come from? You said you're an English wheel guy.
Yeah.
It's sort of a big transition in anything that's car building. I feel like you touched on it briefly. Your MIG welding, your zap and stuff. You're putting on replacement panels, and then maybe it's chopping a top, and then all of a sudden the TIG welder opens your eyes. But at some point, it goes from welding in patch panels to making more complex shapes.
Yep.
Some people never get there, have no desire, don't even understand it, because even like some patches are just simple 2-dimensional, and even little beadwork, but not a lot of people go that direction or even think that that's possible. How did that?
Yeah,
that land?
At this point in my career, I would much rather make an entire quarter panel from scratch than to make a patch quilt out of an original one. Yep. And, but you've got to work your way up to that, because you've got to be able to have the skill set of making said quarter panel within a reasonable time, and not making a career out of, building that panel. So you've got to work your way up to it. And I think you have to go through the trenches of doing all the patch panel and the MIG welding and stuff so that you understand why you're progressing through this stuff. And, MIG welding and, a patch in, and I got pretty good at it, and, it can look good enough to body work over and stuff like that. But it's a freaking mess, grinding all that shit down and, the consumables that you go through, the time that it takes to do that versus if you, fit everything up and tack it in with a TIG, hammer and dolly it so everything's, smooth transition, and then you just start at one end and weld nonstop till you get to the other, and then you stretch on that weld, localizing right on that weld to stretch that heat effective zone back. Like the amount of time that it takes to do that than it is to go through all the shenanigans of the wire feed shit it's far less, and you're going to have something that's going to be able to last, forever. Because we did stuff out of wire feed, and then you'd send it out to get it media blasted again because it had been sitting around for a couple of years and getting some surface rust on it. Well, it'd come back and it'd have all these holes, all over where the
in between the zaps.
Yeah. And so then it's now we got to zap it up again, And
but the nice thing about that whole you can eliminate that whole hammer, dolly, and stretching the heat affected zone. You get rid if you zapping, dude. You just take a little blowgun in the other hand, zap, zap.
Yeah, because it
does away with it. Right?
It doesn't shrink then.
Right.
You're cooling it so fast.
Keeps it cool.
Yeah. Because air isn't a quenching.
Yeah. Funny. Just before we go on, my first experience with just working some weld seams on panels was with an old man who forced me to quench everything that I welded. So at this point in time, I was sort of a new fabricator, but I was reading all the metal shaping books, watching all the videos, and was well aware of how I knew I needed to work these welded seams out. But he wouldn't have it. I had to there were coffee cans in the shop, old Folgers coffee cans. You have to fill them up with water, throw a shop rag in them. And the only TIG welder in the shop had a pedal on it that looked like a Ghostbusters pedal. Those big old things with the louvers on the side. And I'm sitting there welding up some panels and just absolutely forced. There was no other way to do it. Weld about 3/8 of an inch, take that soaking wet rag, quench the damn weld, and then move on. And I'm sitting there and TIG welding a fucking puddle of water, just ruining this damn panel, But
water and electricity go great together.
A lot of interesting theories on.
But the good part about that is when you're done, it gives some spots for the filler to go, right? It gives it some big tooth, right? That way you're not having to skim it.
It's
that
mostly low enough,
right?
When you're done.
Exactly.
Assuming it's sucked in that direction.
It's giving you a spot to put the filler.
You can mix it right in there.
Cave and pave.
If you didn't have that, you would have to put filler everywhere and then sand it down,
But all that, the training on that, your experience, you getting comfortable with it, how did that come into play? You pick up an English wheel, you realize what's the first patch or the first panel that you realized you needed to put shape into, and what was it a struggle? Were there a lot of panels thrown around the shop? Did it just click?
Yeah, no, it was a struggle for sure. Started off making gas tanks like most people do, and because when I made my English wheel, so it's a home built English wheel, that was at the height of the it was at the biker build offs on Discovery Channel, so it was everybody's getting an English wheel and some teardrop mallets and and everything. So but there was I didn't have a basis for it, so I had a few books and things like that, and then it was just practicing and knew enough to kind of stay out of trouble. But when I started doing the stuff for the gram, the quarter panels and stuff like that, that was a bit of a challenge. I think I snuck some of those pieces into the trash and wiped my time off, and even while we were doing the stuff on that car, so that car was never initially built for the Detroit Autorama. They started building that car, and Mike wanted that like just a nice street rod, and then somebody in his car club said, well, if you want to get some ideas on building a nice street rod, go out to Detroit Autorama. And so he went out there, and then he came back and told the shop owner, like, okay, this is what we're building it for. And like he had
10x the budget.
Yeah, he had like no clue like what he was doing. So that's how I got involved. And then it progressed. Like they hired Jimmy Smith did the designs on it, and then so EVOD got involved in doing machining of parts. So did Greening Automotive. So I got a chance to work with all those guys. So I kind of took, after I had been there for a while, I kind of took point on like doing like the delegating, scheduling, talking with the vendors. And I actually did, because I had an art background, so doing kind of some sketches of my own, like for Engine Bay and things like that. And then, working direct with the clients, I brought some people a guy in to help out with, the workload of that stuff. And because the other guys that were working on it, they didn't have the skill level to do it, to do a car like that. And it was a learning process for all of us, at that time. And I'm happy with the results that we got from it. So as I was working on that project, I started looking at like Polmax machines, and going further back, that was in the Street Rodder magazine with Ron Covell, where he had the Professor Metal section, and somebody had written in there, and they asked him about like Polmax machines. He's like, well, here's what I know about Polmax machines, and here's what you can expect to pay for them and stuff. But if you really want to know like the ins and outs of like everything about them, like contact Faye Butler. And so it had a little picture of Faye in front of one of his Polmaxes. And so I remember seeing that, and I kept that magazine. And so I dug that magazine out, and I'm like, okay, I need to start looking for a Polmax machine. So I found one. It was a P5. It was over in Ohio, and came with some tooling, center tool post holder, which those are pretty tough to come by. If you can find one like with it, great. Had all like the fencing, circle cutting attachments and shit. And so it was on like a no reserve auction on eBay, and it ended at like a weird time on like a Tuesday. Yeah. And so I got the winning bid, shipped to my door for $1,950. Oh. And so, that one. Yeah, so that was like a game changer machine. I don't like that term, but definitely a game changer. And then there was the shop that I worked at before I started my own shop. I'm like, yeah, I remember they had a planishing hammer in the back corner that they had there, and it was just sitting there collecting dust. So I'm going to go over and ask them if they want to sell that. And so they needed like some aluminum welding done. So I'm like, well, I'll trade you, labor for the hammer. And they're like, all right. So it was like an hour and a half worth of labor. It was like a I don't know.
Labor rate went up for that.
Yeah, it was like $100 or something like that. And so it was a original Milwaukee planishing hammer. So I got that thing, and I was having some difficulty with the Polmax machine, and I had bought in Faye's book, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to email him out of desperation. I got nobody else, around by me knows anything about these machines. So I sent him an email, and I think it was like a couple days later, he called me, and I talked to him on the phone for like an hour. And next thing I know, I'm getting a plane ticket, going out to work with him in his shop. So that was, another like game changer then too, so, and then one of the guys that was out there at the time, we're super good friends right now, and I bought my number 1 Pettingill from him. So he found 2 of those number 1 Pettingills on like Craigslist for like $300.
Somebody just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, he's like these people that like rummage through old manufacturing plants and stuff, and so they had them listed. Yeah, and they're like, well, yeah, we're holding them because there's a guy that is going to come tomorrow. He's going to make like table legs out of them. And so my friend's like,
Perfect timing.
yeah, he's like, I'll double the price. I'll be out there in like an hour. So
What kind of condition was that thing in?
oh, it needed total restoration. It was missing some parts. The one that he kept for himself, like, that was more complete. But I think he's actually got things lined up. He's going to go down to North Carolina and work with Hans that bought the rights to the Pettingill name, and him and Mike Cleaves were doing I think Mike was involved in that. But they were building those machines, the 2Ms and the number ones and stuff. So yeah, after I got back from Phase, I needed a power hammer. So I called Steve Powell, and he built the first hammer for me. And then, as you know, with just one hammer, it sucks to have to change out tooling. So you got to have two. And now I'd like to have one for every die that I have, but I don't have the room for it, or I don't think the accountant for the business
Would approve.
go for that.
Tough
one.
ROI there.
Yeah.
When you look at, like these big classic sort of what I would call professional machines or like real deal hammers, what do you think the difference is in running a hammer like that versus like a Bailey hammer or, some of the other more like readily available, maybe more user-friendly hammers?
They didn't win no world wars, I can tell you that.
They were on the other side where they come from. They
Well,
they lost wars from there.
So I used the two Yoders that Faye has in his shop, and then he's got a Metalcraft Tools one, which they're no longer in business, and they sold their design to Mittler Brothers, who now has revamped the design, and that's what they make now. And so I use that hammer quite a bit, actually, while I was out there. The other two guys were kind of stealing the show with the Yoder. So, Faye, I think, said it best. He's like, well, it's better than an English wheel. You didn't have, too many other things to say about that machine, but I've used the Bailey, I think once when the guy was set up at Road America with it. And I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it other than, it's a smaller machine. It's a little bit lighter duty. I know out there, like when you were running that thing like full throttle, the thing was like almost like jumping up in the air. So their bases are pretty light, and I've got a Bailey kick shrinker, and it's kind of the same thing, but they can't manufacture that stuff like they did back then, like a solid cast iron base, because logistically, and you're trying to ship that thing, it'd be a freaking nightmare, know? So like manufacturing wise, it doesn't make sense. So I understand why the bases are kind of like the lighter duty, and my machine, I've got that anchored right to the concrete, too. And I've got it sitting on like those big, like multi-layer, like equipment pads then too. Just trying to cut the vibration and stuff down. I think for like what the Bailey is, and like for somebody that's looking at buying like something, there's a lot of people they want the ease of just being able to pick up the phone and buy something, and great thing about Bailey is that they do leasing options and stuff then too. So you don't have to have all that money up front. You can do that. I'm no way a Bailey spokesperson here, but,
Sure.
Having a machine that's, brand new, it's under warranty, you don't have to worry about that stuff. You can make monthly payments. Like I totally get that. And then, for the MH19, like for the size of that footprint wise, and then the fact that it's a multi-hammer, like you can do,
you could reciprocate, like pull max on it.
So, if you're cramped for space, or you don't want to buy a power hammer and a pull max machine, like
sort of get some both done.
Yeah,
we've never used that in the reciprocating function, just because we've got a pull max sitting next to it. But the MH19 we've got, it sits right next to a Yoder hammer, and the Yoder hammer for us, we don't have really the metal shaping. A couple guys that do, but universally across the board, we don't have the guys with the metal shaping experience or background, and it's a much more complex machine, as you know, to set up. So in our shop for the metal shaping, we do that. Those are great tools. That MH19 is awesome. I guess the reason I'm sort of selfishly asking because I'm working towards putting some metal shaping stuff at home to tinker with.
Yeah.
So for at home, having something that reciprocates and also works as a power hammer is great. I keep looking back and forth between. There's this Metal Masters, these out of Australia.
Yep.
Which is a neat looking machine. I mean, we had Chris Rush on the podcast who designed and built that. It's an awesome machine for probably every hot rod shop should have one.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of thinking through that now as I'm looking to put some stuff in my garage to tinker.
You don't need all that shit. You cut down some trees already in the front.
Yeah.
Just cut that fucker,
Stump.
dish that thing out,
And just
right?
beat
and
the
get
shit
your
out of it.
teardrops. You'll be fine. You don't remember the ham?
Yeah.
I think
Dude,
I think that was Marcel Delay's favorite tool in the shop was the hollowed out stump.
Yeah. He's a lot better than me, though.
Get after it.
That guy's he built some amazing stuff. His kid still builds some amazing stuff,
Stump and a planishing hammer.
That's all it takes, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the shrinking element, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think another good thing that Bailey does with their stuff is how quick you can change the tooling on that stuff too. Versus my power hammer and what your Yoder is, they use the wedge style, and it's a pain in the ass to change that out. And then when you're having to change out from radial stretch dies or linear stretch dies back to a thumbnail, then you've got to kind of, check to make sure the thumbnail's running true with the upper die and, things like that. And so that's where having multiple hammers, comes into play, where you can just have one always set up with a thumbnail die.
Yep.
The other one you're doing all your stretching on.
What would your pull max keep you? What would be your limitations on with a set of thumbnails for shrinking there? Just your throat depth, or moving the amount of metal that you need to move?
No, it's got plenty of throat on it. You just don't have the hammer at. So if you're wanting to, put a nice low crown in a panel or something, you don't have the hammer option on it. It's not going to hit like a hammer does.
Yeah.
Right.
It hits it dead.
Yeah, and you've got to planish a little bit more if you're doing thumbnail on a pull max because it's not die on die contact. It's not forcing down, so it doesn't fully
Fold it.
set
It doesn't
that.
fold it back on itself all the way.
It doesn't fully set that tuck. It's always kind of a little lumpy. So,
What are you trying to talk me out of? I know you don't want me to get any. You're like,
I'm not trying to talk you. I'm asking questions
Josh keeps reminding me I'm not going to use any of that stuff. Keeps telling me.
Well, no, that's true. But I still want you to have everything. I'm not. No, I'm bringing up questions for you to. Don't be an asshole. I was being nice.
You guys want to get into this?
Yeah, let's get into it. That Metal Master stuff I've found very interesting in those. Is it Bennett Coachworks? The guy's Australian shop on Instagram. You follow them at all?
Because in
Oh
Australia.
yeah. Yep.
Cool, really cool stuff. And they got a great YouTube channel, but they use all that equipment.
That's part of your Australian listening.
I don't know if they listen. I follow them. I don't know. I doubt they follow us, but they use all that Metal Master stuff. But there's virtually no following in the States. I've never seen or heard anybody using one.
So the Metal Master stuff, from what I know, is so it's coming from Australia, but I think it's made China, something like that. And then Woodward Fab is getting the same stuff. They're the same machines. They're just painting them gray, slapping their sticker on.
So you're telling me
I think.
Back to your comment earlier. They knocked off the same machines that we invented to build the planes to fly that thing over there. And then
I said China, not Japan.
yeah,
You just group them all together. Whoa, we get that one out regionally-ish,
Well, most of those.
I was worried about my comment.
That's the beauty of editing. I didn't mean it in that way.
Yeah, I know.
Most of those #1 pet mills, they ended up in the Pacific Ocean.
They just pitched them.
Yeah. They're on aircraft carriers.
Makes
and
sense.
Artificial reef.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff out there. And I knew when you flip through that,
Thank you.
that Metal Masters, their catalog, it's wild the amount of cool metal tools you can get for like virtually nothing. If you go in there with like a $10,000 budget, you can outfit an entire shop.
Yeah.
I mean, slit rolls and press brakes and you name it. Like it's crazy. No, Grizzly's got a power hammer. These Grizzly tools, have you seen that?
Grizzly stuff is
Which isn't bad. Like their woodworking tools.
stuff's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
You used to be able to get a miter bandsaw, horizontal miter bandsaw from them for like $700.
Yeah.
Wow.
They would cut up to, I think, like 8-inch round, which, I mean, I never cut anything.
Yeah, but it's
like
good.
that.
You just want to know you can.
Yeah.
In case you needed to.
Yeah.
What are those hem saws going for nowadays?
It's about $7,500. You can get the XL version on Trick Tools. It's in stock. Get it.
Yeah.
I've looked into it.
What about the gold-plated commemorative edition? That
They joke
is
with me. So
for-
every year we
for
go.
looks only.
Every year we go to PRI.
Oh, yeah.
And at PRI, I'm like infatuated by. I like these hem saws. It's a cool brand. It's quality stuff. Have you
Yep.
seen them? The
Yeah.
horizontal band saws.
Yep.
So every year I go and I'm always getting ready to get my garage, get a garage set up to put some equipment in it. I just haven't gotten there. I'm now finally almost there. So every year for the past probably decade, I'm going to get one of those saws. And that thing's going to be awesome at home. Because the demo is just them cutting these little slivers of like solid 1.5-inch bar stock. So Josh and Phil bust my balls that they're going to come over and I'm just going to be sitting. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit in the garage and I'm going to just be dicing
whole-
1.5-inch bar stock just to show that I
Then
now
you could,
have
then you
this.
could weld them back
That's
together.
what that was my
And then cut 'em
point.
again.
That was what I was going to say. So he's talking about, oh, I'm going to put a lathe here and do this stuff, and this is my vision. It's going to be like, hey man, come on over. I'm hanging out in the garage. I'm doing some stuff. I'm going to walk in and there's going to be the hem saw, proud right in the center, right? With
Light on it.
with a light on it, with the wooden display case glass like lifted off of it. So now it's working time. And then there's gonna be like the old school, like back in the 30s, like wicker basket underneath it, right? And he's filled that thing up with the little coins.
I
Then the-
pictured vintage wooden Coke.
wooden Coke crates. Then he's gonna have his nice brand new TIG welder and bench welder set up in his rotary, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna weld
Fuse 'em
them
back
back,
together.
and then it turns it on the lathe back to a solid bar, and then right back over again. And it's just each day is a different operation. I'm sorry, no, Wyatt, I can't
I'll tell
take you
you
to the
what,
dirt
dude,
bike track. I gotta cut these. No, these discs ain't gonna cut themselves.
On some days, I would be perfectly happy doing that.
Just
honestly,
in a big circle.
So do you have a shop at home? or-
I'm just building a garage space
Okay.
to put some equipment at home to be able to
Yeah.
have a project at home to tinker with. So I'm at the phase now where it's up there and we're starting to run electrical. So I'm thinking through the equipment. So I've been sort of putting my wish list together, starting to plan for where things are getting wired and where things are going. So I'm gonna get some sheet metal equipment and stuff, and just picking some people's brain about.
What's the welder you got picked out?
I'm sort of torn between. I love having the Dynasty for the aluminum, the inverter for the aluminum stuff, but I much prefer the way like the Synchrowave performs on mild steel. Like if you're welding
Sure.
thicker mild steel, there's no comparison in my opinion. So I'm probably treat myself, get both. Got a lot of fucking slivers to weld, a lot of discs to weld together.
those little coins ain't gonna weld
What are you
themselves.
using? What's your
I've got an old Aerowave,
okay?
Miller Aerowave. So I found that. So this is while I was So after the Graham, I got offered a position at technical college teaching welding and fab, and so I went and did that for about 5 years. And so while I was there, I found a Miller Aerowave that was in northern Alabama. Was that like a
God's country.
rocket manufacturing plant? And,
Huntsville.
yep, it was their backup welder for their like hydrogen tank division. Came with a 120-foot long torch.
Nice.
And the guy that I got it from, he must have been kind of higher up, maybe like management, because he sent me pictures of like this thing sitting in his garage, and I'm like, well, fuck, that's garage is all like trimmed out and beautiful, and And so I was able to arrange like transport and stuff. He's like, yeah, I don't even think it's probably got 40 hours on it. So I had an old Lincoln Precision TIG 225 that I had converted to water cooler, and I love that welder.
Yeah.
Great welder.
Yeah, we ran those for a little while here.
Yeah, I just wanted to have something that I could do some thicker material for, had a better duty cycle, and you know, getting more into doing like aluminum alloys and you know, cast aluminum stuff like that, cast housings and stuff, and that is the welder to do it with. So it's like a hybrid. It's part transformer, part inverter.
Okay.
Kind of the weird kind of mix before they came out with the Dynasty. So everything you can do on the Dynasty, you can do on the Arrow Wave, except it's not like a arrow, select, enter.
Yeah.
You know, it's all dials
Right.
and switches and
Which is better
shit.
is it just keeps the board from going out, you know?
Yeah, and it's got that big like T-handle cart. You gotta cruise around the shop, and you need like a 5-foot radius to
Just to maneuver things.
it.
It's like
Yeah.
a pit, like a NASCAR pit cart.
Yep. So that one pretty much is like stationary now. And then we bought.
120-foot torch, it should be.
I changed that one out because I fired that thing up and it had leaks everywhere. It looked like a
sprinkler.
like a fucking like a sprinkler. And so no, I got rid of that and put like I think it's got like a 12-foot torch on it. And then so our little portable welder that we've got, we got a Everlast 200, and it's been great so far, you know. And I think that thing with the water cooler and cart was like $2,000 versus like 12,000 for the Dynasty.
There's some crazy good budgeted products out there now. What's the other? It's a red. They're all red.
It can't be that good for that long.
That Austin purchase.
Yeah.
What is that welder that he runs? I've seen it before. I think doesn't BBT's got one too. I
Arc
think.
something. BBT uses the Fronius.
Okay.
That's like aristocrat shit. They're expensive.
Are they really?
Oh yeah. Maybe they're better
Troy's a
now.
little bougie.
When they first came out, they were pretty high dollar because they were pushing like that stuff on us at the tech school.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I don't know. We can get, you know, the Lincolns were better for educational. Like they were lucky if they were breaking even. It's like Haas, Haas machining equipment and shit. Like they've got great partnerships with the schools and everything. They pretty much make no money, I'm guessing, on their leasing options. But the smart thing about that is all those people that are graduating
They want
and they're
that.
coming
Trained
out of
on
there.
Yeah, they're buying that equipment.
Yep, and they're interviewing.
Lifelong.
And okay, what systems are you used to? What machines do you know? Oh, I know Haas and Lincoln. Okay, well, hey, we need to order some new machines. Let's get these.
The old Gene
Pretty
Haas
smart.
is no dummy, and he's
Well, that's why you can go F1 and
that's right. Yeah.
and spend a lot of loss leaders in the old Haas.
He's got plenty to
marketing.
lose.
they got a little bit in the minus category. There. So and
Just
it's
plays in that sweet zone there.
I don't know how their winter testing did. I think there's some. I don't know if you can really put too much stock in that stuff, but I know the Aston Martin definitely fell short from what they were trying to go for. Have you guys?
I haven't followed it.
Okay.
No.
I've just seen the Ferrari flipping wing thing all over Instagram.
And then Cadillac's entry into that.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So they've got.
Is Audi getting into it as well?
Yes.
I saw a teaser for that not
Yep.
too long ago.
Yep. Yeah. So they took over. I think they're in the Sauber Kick Audi. So that used to be Sauber Alfa Romeo. Yep. Used to pay attention to it a little bit more than the last like couple years. I just haven't had the time for it. But
I'm so casual. I enjoy when I can watch it and do, especially the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about, I know some of the little things and on the racing side. I've just never been able to understand like the car build side of things, where we can pretty much build whatever we want as long as it falls within these boxes. And then it's, you start the season out like, oh shit, turns out we built a bad car. Yeah. It's like, this one's no good, It's,
Yeah.
it's
just
Wait till next year.
yeah.
I can send you. I found this Instagram account where it's one guy and he plays like 2 different manufacturers and the governing body, and it's like Ferrari and Red Bull, and he's like, "You guys are cheating. You're cheating." And like he switches to Red Bull. He's like, "Nope, the rule clearly says this."
Yeah.
And then they just go back and forth, and it kind of
racing,
shows what they did, and it's a pretty cool way of showing it and like
Interpretation of the
and seeing like all the things they do to like just get by the rules and
right. The problem solving and the
Oh yeah. I think they've got like a whole team of people that are probably reading the whole FIA book and finding ways of getting around all of that shit.
Oh, it'd have to be, legal too. You're just like,
Yeah.
If they would have used this word, then we absolutely couldn't have done this.
Yep.
But they used this word, so guess what we can do?
Well, that's how like Williams was able to get around and do like the whole active suspension stuff that like, because they were a losing team in like the 60s and 70s, and then all of a sudden the 80s, they turned it on, and they had Adrian Newey was their like designer, and they built the car that had the active suspension in it, which eventually got banned by the FIA, and
Found the loophole though for a while.
Oh yeah.
there's a bunch of crazy ones this guy goes through. I forgot. I think it was Aston Martin. They put a third pedal in the car. That's a brake pedal that just does one rear wheel to help them around corners.
Oh, get them turn
and
in.
Went,
cutting brake?
Yeah, basically, cutting brake for like sand car stuff.
That's awesome.
And they went through all the rules, and they're like, nope, it's a brake. And they're arguing back and forth, and they end up, it was legal for a year, and they changed the rules,
Right.
and they killed it the next year. And then Aston Martin had their rear spoiler that wasn't strong enough, so at high speeds, it would bend and give them a more aerodynamic advantage.
Yeah, it goes back up. We can't help it. We
didn't make it
screwed
strong
up.
enough.
We made it make it strong enough.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
We'll fix it.
Yeah, I think Mercedes had like something too where their steering column was like telescoping. So
Yeah, they were pushing it, and it was doing something
Yeah, I
with the
don't know
steering
if it was
ratio.
something with brake bias or something like that. Going into the corners, they were adjusting that thing.
Mercedes had last year, didn't they? Had their front splitter was doing the same thing as that rear, right?
Bending.
It would, the downforce or the arrow would fold it backwards.
What is it with them? They're all chasing like ride height too, right? Because you see certain cars are constantly bottoming out, throwing sparks, and they're all just playing with like millimeters of ride height.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're on to you want it to be on the ground but not scrubbing.
Yeah,
and they say they beat you to death. I mean, because you're slapping the
you watch
ground
some of the cars, they're pounding. Right?
180.
That's a wild sport.
All right, next. So you went to the trade school.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you do that?
So the auto body program that was like a year long. So 2 semesters, 8 weeks.
No, I'm talking about when you're teaching.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I did that for about 5 years.
How does that? When you started this out, you started explaining about employees, and you like to do things a certain way, right? And
Students.
Now you got students and your person. How does that?
Oh, geez.
What's the difference there when you're training somebody?
Students can't quit.
I've got to either really be careful about how I answer this or just go full
send.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
Jeremy always says just go for it.
It's true.
Yeah, I usually
think
tiptoe into these things.
I think
right?
as long as I don't name names, I'll be fine. But yeah, so
I don't know.
What's
So-
Lefsy? We're gonna find out. Go ahead, keep going.
That's it's called Lefse. So that's Norwegian. So like up where I'm at, like we're all like Scandinavian. I'm purebred Norwegian, purebred pack mule.
Okay.
So Lefse is like it's made out of potato. It's like the Scandinavian tortilla.
Okay.
Say we're not too far off from Wisconsin tacos here.
Yeah, I think
there you go.
I think we should get after it.
So I've never had that brand, so I don't know, but yeah, my mom bakes it like all the time. So
So you assaulted a student is what happened. And you were escorted off campus.
I had enough.
No, never did that. I maybe came kind of close, but so yeah, I thought, going into it, okay, we're teaching college level, like these people want to be here. No, not all of them did. We had a group of, our typical class would be like 25 students. And I would say out of the 25, 5 of them were like rock stars. They're going to do great. They've got great skill. They listen. They're self-starters. It's like everything that you'd want from an employee, And then you'd have...
These two.
Yeah. Then you would have like another 5 that you wish that you could just go up to them and write their tuition checks like back to them and just be like, stop wasting your time. Stop wasting my time. Stop wasting these other people's time. Like, you don't want to be here. You don't give a shit. Like you haven't bought any of the books. Like you're showing up late. You just don't care. Like, and with the welding machines that we had, like we could go into the classroom right off the lab and we could dial up and look at the arc time. And in a 4-hour lab class, this one student had like 4 minutes of arc time. And so, you confront him about it and he's pissed. Well, I can do whatever I want while I'm in this class. Okay. Well, you know what happens after you graduate here. Like you look for a job, and what are they going to think when you don't know how to do the processes that you supposedly have to be able to do upon graduating here? So yeah, it was a big eye opener. I think in my first semester, I kicked out more students from class than I did in all of the other semesters combined after that. And, I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but,
did you try to change their thought process at all? Or is it, if they don't want to be here, then I ain't got the time for it?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I was towards the end of it.
Pretty good combo right here.
And I realized that at that point, when I hit the 5-year mark, that like if they don't care, why should I care about them? And I'm not even going to make an attempt to try to care. I knew that, okay, well, this probably isn't for me then. But in between, after the first semester, and I apologized to students that had me first semester because I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just trying to keep my head above water, and but I was bringing home books, every night with me and putting in way more time than what I saw any other instructor do, when I was out there and trying to be effective and coming up with different things. And I was given like classes to teach like blueprint reading and metallurgy, and I became like the metallurgy like go-to. And so when I went through the program, like the metallurgy class was like transparencies on an overhead of the iron carbon diagram, and you're writing on there. I'm like, that's fucking boring as hell. Like we need to change some things. It's a 2-hour lecture class. Like, I don't care about the iron carbon diagram, but I need to find out like the stuff that is important of it and teach it, and then figure out like some activities to do. Get up there and yak and give instructions for like the first 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going out to the lab and like doing shit. So like I had our guy like water jet cut out like aluminum, and I showed them how to anneal aluminum and then work harden it by hammering it into a stump, just like what you're going to get for your home job. And then so we do all these little activities doing, stuff for mechanical properties and hardness, ductility, thermal properties, aluminum versus stainless, stuff like that. So showing them, exhaust work versus aluminum radiator, like the pros and cons to all that kind of stuff. And then you do all these little activities, and then at the end of it, we would do, kind of combine it all into like one big capstone lab class. So, changing things up there and getting the students a little bit more active. And I saw a better response from that. And I had more fun doing it then too, so, and then, I had access to all that other stuff then too, where I had to go back to school and get a degree as part of my contract. So I had one elective class left to take, and there guys like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I want to learn SolidWorks because I want to teach solid modeling to the students for the 2-year program. He's like, okay. So I took solid modeling 1 and went through all that stuff, did all the projects that were part of the book. And then we had like a capstone project to do there. And the instructor's like, so what do you want to do for your final project? And he's like, so some of these other guys they're making like a desk, like pen holder, envelope, tape dispenser, like, stuff like that. And I'm like, I want to build a chassis. So my friend Freddie had bought a 65 Corvair, and he wanted to build like a race car out of it, but didn't really know the direction that he wanted to go with it. So
is this Freddie of Fast Freddy's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I've known Freddie since I was 16. So he graduated with my oldest brother. And so, yeah, and we worked at muscle car restorations together, and we were in a car club together. And, yeah, we've been good friends for a long time. And so, yeah, he had bought this Corvair, and I'm like, well, what are you planning to do with it? And it's like, well, I know I want to LS swap it and, build kind of like a vintage race car with it. Like, why don't you let me build the chassis for it? I need a project for my SolidWorks class and this and that. And so I bullshitted him, told him I could do this. I had no idea what I was doing. So
happens a lot in the industry.
Yep. So dove into that thing, and it was a struggle. Like the first set of front frame rails that I designed for it was just a disaster. And I think they're on like design 3 or 4 is what we ended up going with on that thing. But so yeah, it's based off of a C5 Corvette front rear suspension. Use the LS engine mounts, and then Bowler T56 in it, and then is it Dutchman's axle, 9-inch center section,
Motors up front.
Yep. So yeah, and it was like an old dirt track car, and the thing was just beat to shit.
Dirt track Corvair?
Yeah.
Never seen anything like it.
Northern Wisconsin.
Yeah, we're a little different up there.
Wow.
So yeah, I ended up building a chassis table for that thing over winter break, and it was me and like one of my other like coworkers up there. He helped me do it, and so we used the overhead crane to like flip this thing around because that chassis table weighs like 5,000 pounds. It's like fucking some serious iron. And then I designed like all the tooling and stuff, modular tooling for it. And so we cut that stuff out on the plasma, bent it up on the press brake, fixtured it, welded it. And we had Blue Coat tables there at the school. So I got to use all that stuff and convince the school, oh yeah, like I need to know how to use this stuff anyways. Why don't you just let me build a project on it? And like, yeah, that's cool, because the program director had done all of his tile work for his bathroom remodel on the flow jet. So, like,
Perks of the job.
Full access to it. So, yeah, we built that project, and then that just got me kind of like back into it. And I was...
Get the itch again.
Yep. I was going in, to the school, into the lab on the weekends and working on it. On like building the chassis table and stuff, and then bending up, cutting out the flat sections, bending up the straight bends on the chassis, fixturing everything. And I'm like, man, I really missed like doing this stuff. I have like no creative outlet right now, teaching, and I just really, really miss being in the shop and building cool shit. And so I took my wife out to dinner one weekend, and she knew it was coming. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I need to go back and be in my shop.
Sounds like you have a very supportive wife.
She's great. I mean, I have no idea how I'm still married, but I've heard you guys talk about on the podcast, like how wrong you guys have done everything. And
you're right there.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, I only took a half day off of work on my wedding day, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. That's about what I took for my firstborn.
I did it for both.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do.
The second one,
we FaceTimed.
Yeah, the second one I saw the first one was like, God, can you just shoot me some pics?
Yeah. I slept there at night. I did go to the hospital and sleep at the hospital both nights. But there's no sense in you being there all day long. There's nothing you can do. I don't have, like, especially they would have listened. Like, we both went to the answer center and geared up for learning. There's no business we have. I could be of no help.
Yeah.
I got put into like a academic probation thing when I was in the university, kind of like that.
Okay, sweet.
Geared up for learning.
Hell yeah!
I don't remember what
Phil's
called,
the fucking outcast.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
He laughs, he jokes. He's over there in his own fucking world.
Yeah,
a Big Ten university grad, only guy that wasn't in some sort of borderline special ed.
Basically,
I picked the wrong industry because I feel like 98% of the high school wasn't in that class.
No, but look at him now. I think I've done better than probably 98%.
That's how exclusive the club is.
Right. They don't let just anybody in there.
How many people were in your sorority? A shit ton more than were in our special club. I promise you that.
What was the college that you went to?
Yeah, you're
Indiana.
Okay.
Fraternity, I meant.
Yeah. So you were among some of the high performers like Josh and I.
Yeah.
The mind just works different.
Yeah. It's I've heard you guys talk about this, like I think it was when you had Vinny on, where he was talking about how he just hated high school, stopped going.
But then quit school.
But then as soon as he gets into doing something that he likes, he's like all in.
Right.
And so that's how it was for me. I had like go into the tech school. I mean, granted, it's not like super hard, but as long as you show up and you put forth a good effort and you're turning in like decent work, like you're going to do well. And I had like a 3.96, versus like I had 4 Fs and an A at the end of my university career,
Well, that's where I was. I don't want to get too deep, but
you want to gear up? You're gearing up?
No. You mentioned earlier, we were talking about your teaching, right? And you said, rightfully so, you kind of get the thing of like, hey, I'm here to teach. You need to learn, right? If you don't have any interest in it, then that's fine. I don't have any time for you, right?
Yep.
So teachers, for the most part, right, I would have to assume there's a lot of people that get into it and probably stay into it for all the right reasons, right? We're going to change lives. We're going to do all the cool, nice things that good people say, right? However, it's human nature. After a certain amount of time, you got paid to do a job, and your job is to teach. Well, teaching is a 50-50 partnership. To be able to teach, you have to have the other person willing to learn, right? And you have to do your job, and they have to willingly learn. However, there also is a portion, you could say, that a teacher's job is also to get the students willing to learn. Because generally, not all students come in just ready to learn, right? And there's a lot of kids out there that are going to fight it for whatever reason, lack of interest, for whatever things they've got. And I wouldn't want anything to be different the way I grew up and the way things were. I'm happy with everything the way it was. However, I wonder if a teacher was incentivized or things were different. And instead of 10 years in looking at it like, I got tenure, I'm just going to get to this point. If I get 50% of the class to learn, I'm at least doing my job. They should have been raised different. It's not my job to get them to want to learn. It's my job to teach them. If that mentality was a little different and you were incentivized like based on graduation numbers or grades or how many, passing and stuff like that, how many more you could turn to be like, find the thing that you are interested in. Because you just mentioned, like, talking about Vinny, talking about us, You went to school and you were a fucking straight A student when it was something that you gave a shit about.
Yeah, once I got into a technical school, I was like, well, this is weird. This feels like what all those other kids felt like that were getting straight A's. This is easy. It's a fucking piece of cake.
How different would it be, in normal high school and I'm sure there is out there. I'm not saying there's no teacher, but
it's like a contingency plan based on how successful your students are in the future.
Yeah,
that you get a kickback off of that.
Yeah, it would be a different. I think it would be a different thing when. And I mean, obviously, we're not teachers, and there's so much probably. Teachers are probably listening now. You're fucking stupid. You don't realize what we have to do. We've got a very strict.
Years.
We've got a very strict curriculum. We can only teach what we need to teach, but. Yeah, I got it. I just blew right past it.
The sniper guy.
I know. That's how many times we've been called stupid. It doesn't even bother me.
Yeah.
But it's if you can find the thing that because you think about it more now. I mean, we're parents, right? My kids are a little bit older. I mean, you try to teach them things, and you've seen it. Trying to teach your kids something, or just get them to listen to something that they have no interest in versus how attentive they are in something they want to do. When it's something that we're going to go do this.
It's just different.
Yeah. So finding the way
He's got to make that connection and make them understand.
Yeah. How do you connect math to dirt bikes? How do you connect, do this to that?
That's the best way. I do that with my son is like a chip off the old block spitting image of me when it comes to that. I mean, we are not doing well in high school. He's a freshman. My daughter is a freak, like straight A's, and if she so much as gets an A-, it's devastating to her.
Right.
And my son, he's got the mentality like I did that what the fuck am I going to use this for? Like, this is useless information. So I try to convert it to like, dude, like here, think about fractions and like pull a tape measure out and start doing the math on the tape measure. Because to me, it also never made sense. Like fractions, most of them are completely useless until you cut it down to tape measure math. Like the tape measure is the only fractions that I'll ever need.
Use,
if you would have done it to there, I would have paid attention.
And then it's like, dude, that makes perfect sense. Like, why didn't somebody...
You guys are going to be carpenters. You're going to be hot rod builders.
Right.
Oh, shit. Okay, yep.
And then it's like, I could do some pretty advanced, quick fractional math, but like, I'm not sitting there reading a tape measure trying to figure out what the fucking common denominator is and start figuring out some advanced, equations. It's like, dude, for some people, great. Other people, to your point, identify what their interest is. And I also identify like who the fuck is going to use this information for what in their career.
Right.
I remember getting into somewhat of a heated debate with my geometry teacher in high school when I was living in Woodstock, Illinois. And because we were talking about the Pythagorean theorem.
Had this conversation with my daughter yesterday.
When in the hell am I ever going to need to know this? It's not like I'm going to go to the grocery store and bust out the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
Guess what? I use a lot of those formulas every single day in the shop, so, but I think you have to have like an application, so like what you guys were talking about, like it's great to just here's the formula, plug in the info.
Yeah, you should learn it.
This is just boring. Why do we need to know this? All right, so for like the 2-year program, they had like an associate's degree, like math class they had to take. So they brought in a gen ed teacher from like the main campus to like teach the math class to the welders. And they couldn't stand it because that's what it was. It was just all these fucking formulas that there's no application. Why do we need to know this? Why can't you give us like a formula that we can use for it? And so I'm like, all right. I came in and I'm like, here, I'm going to show you guys how to make a tunnel for a transmission cover.
Yep.
And all you need to know is the circumference formula, and then we're just going to go from there.
Yep.
Break it down into sections.
Well, yeah.
But even
geometry made sense to me because geometry, it was applicable to something.
Sure.
That's what I told my daughter yesterday. She's like, when am I going to use the Pythagorean theorem? I'm like, if you're an architect, if you're building a car, if you're building anything, go after geometry. Probably nothing is going to be useful in your life in the math world.
But even
that's
in
in
2026, here's my
chat GTP that.
Well, it's what I'm gonna go. It's probably obviously a little controversial, but in 2026, right, short of basic addition and subtraction and multiplication, why do you even need to learn that type of math in high school when everything is at the tip of your fingers, right?
Yeah.
Computers aren't. If
You'll excel. Maybe you'll excel at something else if you.
if you took that time that you were trying to force theories and learning algebra and learning calculus and learning all of this stuff, that it's nice to know the backside of it. However, if you go down the path as a career, as a professional, you can always go back and dig into that. But the doing of the job on a day-to-day basis, your calculator, your computer, Google, ChatGPT, all of that is going to get you to where you need to go faster anyway. Now, if you're going to be a teacher of it, but at the same time, like, why do you need to know it?
There's the more important one that everybody misses, like the problem solving portion of that to figure out what you need to do to get to it.
Yes.
If you have like looking at the kids' math problems are blown away by it, like, no, it's you got to do the problem solving portion of it, then the math is easy.
Yeah. Why? What are you trying to get that number for?
Yeah. Or how to get the number, or what's the question actually asking.
Sounds like Phil does a lot of homework help at home.
No, I do like minimal.
But I mean, there's so many other things that is completely blown past. I mean, throw out all algebra and calculus for basic high school. You know, if you want to take an AP, if you want to take that as an elective, do that. Throw all that out and do life skills there. Talk about investments. Talk about taxes. Talk about
how
what you're going to do.
Tape measure to make a wall square.
Yes.
Yeah. Hanging pictures should be a class.
There's all kinds of things like that. I mean, that you should be learning, and then based on your career path, you can take secondary schooling if you would like, or if you want to dig in at your leisure on the side, on your free time to learn more about. But all that stuff. I'm not saying it's going to sound like you want stupider people, right? And you're just going to live off of Google, but if you taught them more life skills and more reasoning, you're going to be able to get way cooler things done way fucking faster, because the guy that can do the math in his head or even on paper and then show his work to get to this answer versus the guy that knows that we just need to get to the answer and move the fuck on and that did it by Google. Like, let's get to what we're doing. We need to build this fucking bridge, right?
Sure.
So what's this, equation going to be?
If you were to sit down, if you want to shrink a piece of sheet metal and you want to put you made a template, put a bunch of pie cuts in it, you figured out how you want that panel to come together. Would you rather sit down and figure out some equation for every one of those little triangles that you laid out over this whole panel to try to measure what precisely that is going to be and formulate an equation so that the next time you do something like that, you measure this, you've got some elaborate equation, or just make a fucking paper template, transfer it over to a piece of sheet metal, shrink it, and be done? Like, I mean, maybe you do it that way. So
no, that's what I usually do is, and then, if it's something that's kind of perfectly like half circle, then, you divide it down the middle again, and then just keep going like that.
Yeah.
And then you can stagger those, go all the way back to your highlight line and, things like that. So, but there needs to be like some sort of symmetry involved with it, equal measurements between that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I guess going back to what you guys were talking about before is like, is there a place for that stuff? Well, there used to be a place for a slide ruler. Well, that's all done. So you got to pick the technology that makes sense and can take you to the next kind of level. Too.
That T2000 was key.
Yeah, if you're playing Drug Wars
to getting through high school,
those games.
And when's the last time you used that thing?
Did you actually use the calculator, or did you put
I put messages in it.
Yeah,
and then pass it down the thing.
All did that.
So that, or the 3x5 note card that fit.
I just played the
perfectly
game.
behind it. Right on your notes.
You like this?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've heard. That's interesting that you brought that, because I've never had it, but I've heard so much good stuff about the brand, and it's phenomenal. Have you had any of the J. Henry stuff?
We had one at the very beginning, but it was a different one.
This is great.
It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah. I know. I mean, again, back to reiterate Phil's point that there's teachers out there that are husbands that are married to teachers that are cringing of our stupidity of the stuff. But I think that it's key to finding the way that somebody understands what you're saying for the next time to get a little bit better versus it just being a memorization, thing. Like, okay, if I'm going to get this, I'm just going to memorize this to get through it and then forget about it. If you can figure out a way to, even if it's a little bit interesting, there's a lot of things that I'm very mildly interested in, if at all. But if there's something that's small enough to pique my interest, I'll at least pay attention long enough to learn the thing I need to learn about that, And it's.
No, I had some amazing instructors when I went to tech school, like life-changing instructors. So when I went through the auto body program, a month in, I pulled the senior instructor who had been there since the beginning of the program, since like the early 70s. And I'm like, hey, I want you to come with me and look at this car. And that's when I bought my 50 Ford. And then, so afterwards, and I went into the welding program. The welding instructor, the main welding instructor was one of my dad's good friends growing up, and they worked on dirt track cars together. That's and cool. where I was building my 50 Ford in my grandma's garage, they used to work on the car in that garage to get it like prepped for Sunday racing. And this guy, like, his first car he ever painted was in that garage, and there was like some cool paint residue on the floor and stuff.
Some Fordite.
Yeah. And this dude, he was super cool because like I had some welding experience from taking the related class beforehand, and just, I guess, being a quick learner with that, like the hand-eye coordination, stuff like that. And so I was able to really breeze through like the first semester curriculum. So by second semester, he's like, well, you've got all this stuff done. You got all this time. Like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to learn like TIG welding. Like, put me on the TIG welding. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to run you through your paces. So he had me doing like stainless exhaust work, stuff like that. And then every once in a while you'd come back, throw the curtain back, and he'd be like, it's like, hey, I need your help with something. And so he'd put me to work on this. He was like a street rod guy. So he's like, I've got a 37 Ford and I'm suiciding my doors and I need all this stuff filled in. He's like, I want you to do it. So I did that. And then he had another friend bring in like he had a 37 Chevy like chassis. And he's like, we're going to plate this stuff up and we're going to reinforce this and that. And so he's like, you're all caught up on everything right now, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all caught up. So he like put me to work on that. And then I was ready to build the floors in my 50 Ford because they were all rusted out, and I did an engine transmission swap. So next door was the old sheet metal lab, and they had all the Pexto, like, army green, like painted shit, brakes, slip rollers and bead rollers and stuff. And he's like, all right, he's like, if you're all caught up, I'll let you, for this week, I'll let you build your floors and your tunnel system and stuff. But I want you to come on Monday with a blueprint. I want to see how you're going to make this stuff. I want to see measurements, how you're going to figure all this stuff out. Because as soon as you get in here and you start working with the sheet metal, the clock's ticking. You got 1 week to do it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So drew up a blueprint and everything. And he's like, yeah, this looks good. All right, go to it. So I built my floors and stuff in there. And then I got all the floors in it, all the metal work done. And he's like, where are you at with your car? I'm like, oh, I'm getting close for primer, epoxy primer. He's like, all right, how soon do you think you're going to be ready for it? I'm like, oh, probably beginning of next month. So he goes over and talks to the auto body guys, and he's like, all right, I squared it away with Terry. You've got the entire week over there for the booth. He's like, bring it over here, do all your final prep on the bare metal, do your seam sealing and everything, and get into epoxy primer. He's like, you can have the week off of work. So he was super cool guy. And then it was shortly after that, my grandma moved into assisted living, so I no longer had the garage there. And so he's like, well, where are you going with that? I'm like, I have no idea, Scott. I might have to put it up for sale. And he's like, well, why don't you bring it down to my shop? He's like, you can have a spot down there. He's like, you're working just down the road at that body shop. So it's like, you can come here after work. And he's like, plus I need a hand working on, my own car and everything. So, yeah, it was
Wow.
huge. I don't think I would be where I'm at right now without that
That's pretty cool.
instructor and family friend. And yeah, he's great. I've been trying to get him down to my shop for a while, and hopefully if he listens to this, it'll get him down there quicker.
It's awesome.
That's a good example of how an instructor can change somebody's outlook on something or somebody's trajectory. I briefly went to a tech school, and the instructor was a complete fucking moron. Like, complete fucking moron. I'll never forget how fucking stupid this guy was.
Just the 4th gen Camaro door.
Yeah. The auto body class that I went to, and I'd been a body man for a long time. Like, I was doing pretty high level fucking shit that was auto body related. And we go in, and it's like sort of you described some of your students. There's a handful of people who really wanted to be there. The rest of them, it was kind of like, just, I don't know, I'm going to do it myself. This is something to do. Mm-hmm. So the most antiquated, this kind of ties it all together, because like the most antiquated things that you would never need to learn how to do or should do. So you were required to use cheese graters to take your filler work down.
Oh, yeah.
And he would call it cheesing it to contour. Cheesing it to contour. And
technical term.
Right. So I had a mud hog, and you took it down with the mud hog. And you'd take a dent. You knew exactly how many hours that dent was and how quick to fix it in order to be able to make money on it, because I'd already done all this. Like, this is easy fucking crap. This is rudimentary shit. And he would argue with me over and over again that you cannot make something straight with a round tool, because it's round this way.
Yeah, no, I
and I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Are you using it like this?
Like, this is an old ass guy. I'm like, I don't know where you've been for the past 30 years, but like, step into a body shop.
They wanted you to use a jitterbug.
And there's some pneumatic tools being used.
Don't the cheese graters
nowadays
have a
slight they've got a little crown to them. So you've got to rock it up on its little tiny flat edge in order to, so he wouldn't let me. I kept doing it. I'd knock a dent out in like 15, 20 minutes. Other kids would be on it for weeks at a time. And then he'd make me redo it, because he would argue with me that you can't do it that way. I need to do it how the curriculum shows, And every fucking thing was like that. Then we moved on to, we were brazing patch panels onto the hoods they would just get all these old scrap hoods that were donated. So like a Dodge Neon hood, you would take a little piece of like 18 gauge and braze it onto the hood for your, whatever that fundamental test was.
On the top of it?
You went in the with a torch. Like, what scenario am I going to find myself in a body shop?
I got to cover this hole.
Where I am using a torch to braze a patch panel onto a thin gauge, flat ass piece of metal.
We had a leading demonstration when I went through the auto body school.
The hood's $80. They're just going to replace the hood.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, you guys have got to like kick this up a notch as far as this curriculum goes here, Unbelievable. Every single thing was like that, and I would just.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, and they hated me for it, but I finished the whole the whole semester's curriculum in like under a month or something.
Did you ever ask him?
Ask him what?
What was wrong with him?
No, I never did. I just kind of kept it to myself, but he had an attitude about me because, but.
Do you guys work with any of the local tech schools on anything? You guys part of the?
We don't. Not
advisory committee or anything for welding or?
No, not that. Not that I wouldn't be interested in it. Nobody's ever reached out.
It's tough. I've tried. I've had the instructors in, and I've emailed the deans and stuff. And
hey, dude, let's call a spade a spade. They don't give a shit.
No.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
It's like they
got to get their tuition. They got to run the business like a business. And it is what it is.
The people that want that are part of the advisory committee that are hiring the graduates, from what I've been told, is they just want people that can sand bumper covers, plastic bumper covers. So,
I think the coolest thing I ever learned in school, the only teacher that was like inspirational to me, and I clicked with this guy, was graphic design. in high school because the dude sort of did it as almost like he was giving back. Like this was a guy who genuinely just wanted to like do something for the students.
You have a ponytail.
No,
Seems like you do with a ponytail.
but he was a
Seems like a
full time.
ponytail,
He was a builder and an architect outside of school and had a full like thriving business and sort of just did this. And in class, he would always be maybe not that thriving, right? But it was he had a business, right? And in class, he'd always be on like the cell phone, and I'd like be eavesdropping and listening.
That was
like,
cool.
And I'm like, this dude's like making shit happen. This is cool, you know. And you'd hear, and you'd have blueprints out, and he's working on his own stuff. And I'm like checking. I'm like, no, that's kind of cool. Like, just seeing the guy operate was cool. And he was a guy that would like genuinely wanted you to learn something and would help you succeed. And that was something that resonated with me. But just seeing him, do his thing was like it was motivational.
We had this is completely different. We had I was always big into history. That was the only really
Moon landing
classes
stuff like that.
classes that I really wanted to pay attention to, and I always wanted to learn more. Like, if you go through, if you're into history and they're telling history, you breeze past a lot of stuff in high school. You're jumping to wars quickly. And it's like, whoa, hold on, like they were allies and then now they're bombing. Like we got to go back. Like you're missing some stuff. It was the only time I was always like, so we had Mr. Krevling. So Mr. Krevling drove a K car.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes,
Like
true story.
Edward Rooney's K car.
This is maroon 4-door K car, the Krevmobile, right? So we and had been teaching for 40 something years, right? And had memorized basically every class of every day. Right, that's just come in. Today's
no prep time.
No, today's Tuesday, and we're on this chapter of this book, and boom, just right through. And he had this. We're kids, but thinking back about it, this hair that would grow out of his ears, right? At you've never seen hair that long, like come out of his ears, and so of course, at his 14, 15 years old. He drives a K car, and Mr. Krevling with the ear. He did not like us at all because you fucked with him constantly, and he couldn't hear probably because all the hair in his ears,
a little muffled.
Yeah. So you could always just it was the what who huh? So you get him off of his memorization. Huh what huh?
That was like all we caught the tail end. We rode that. We were like riding that last wave. That was all those teachers that had been
200 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
60s,
all of them
70s,
did not
80s.
care. They're on their way out.
Yeah.
I wish you'd have had I wish I'd have taught you the darts back then, the little pin darts.
Yeah. I mean, we figured
That was
school was sort of like prison when it came to fashioning little weapons. You would create interesting little things with whatever
little,
resources you had.
Remember the tiny M&M, the little flip top case?
Oh, yeah. What'd you do with them?
You put all your little rubber band
rubber.
darts in there.
The M&M case.
Like little cylinders with a flip top cap for the tiny mini
Yep.
M&Ms. Everybody had like 3 of those full of little folded paper you put in a rubber band. And
We had Altoid tins for our little blow darts, whatever. They never heard. We did this thing in the South. I don't know if y'all ever did blow darts. But you take the round Bic pen, right? Mm-hmm. You take the stuff out of there, so you just got the clear tube, like the white tube.
Yep.
Well, then you take like ends of shoelaces, right? The little plastic part. Mm-hmm. Snip those off. Go ahead and do all your mom, dad, and your sisters, all of theirs at one time. Just run through the house because you have to have those shoelaces. Okay. And you leave like a 1/4 inch of the shoelace left. And then fray that.
Oh, jeez.
Fray that, right?
Wow.
And then you just do like a sewing needle down the middle of it. It's tight. I'm telling you what.
You did this in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. One of the seniors taught us that, like we were like 15 or whatever.
I thought I saw some shit.
And you
just catch someone in the neck.
You would do all weekend long. You would do all weekend long and fill your Altoids tins, right? Of these things, be ready. And I'm gonna have to. I haven't done one since then. I want to do one again because they'd stick in a chalkboard. So there'd be like this one teacher. I still feel bad for Miss Sanford. She had polio as a kid, so she had the thing, the walking thing, and so it took her a bit to get up and out. And then once she did get turned around and braced to do it on the chalkboard, you knew that it was going to be a slow turnaround. So you and like 3 of your buddies could just pepper that, and there's just, but yeah, you catch.
Did you blow them or it was a rubber band?
No, blow 'em.
Okay.
That thing, you got to leave. You'll get good at it. You leave the right amount of shoelace on the end, fray it, and that thing will stick right in there. And just put. I mean, again, the mini blow dart.
Yeah.
You put one of those in the back of the arm right there, or in the back of the neck of somebody.
Oh man.
Oh wow. And you don't. There's not a lot of needle sticking out because it's the length of it or whatever. You've probably only got 1/4 inch of needle, just enough to stick in there, and it's hanging out the back. And it's not like it bleeds. It's a little bit of needle. But man, the absolute most fun. Short of a potato gun, I've never had more fun with just a little dart. And you get, because you be walking down the hallway, right?
Yeah, just
and even maybe it wasn't even meant for you, but catch one. Oh, damn it.
We never had that.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've never heard of that.
Had to be
Terrified of taking somebody's eye out. Like, even at that age when I was always like, what's the worst that could happen? I knew that the worst could happen when you blind some kid, and then it was going to be a bad day. So you always tried to be,
It's definitely a risk.
Yeah. I think we need to bring them back.
Yeah. Well, what is happening currently at your shop?
We're going to go there next.
We've covered some
The
good
Mustang
topics.
being built.
We've covered some great topics.
Yeah, that was
Important topics, but
Sure. Yeah. So right now it's in the shop. So yeah, I mean we're super small operation. We're only 2,500 square feet. So I think you guys have more showroom space than we've got like full shop. So, but yeah, nice clean shitter.
we don't have that.
But yeah, we've got 3 projects that we're working on right now full time. And then we've got one that's out at paint that's coming back.
Cool.
So one of the projects that we're doing, it's being, done in secrecy, so we can't talk about that one. But yeah, we've got the Challenger project there. We got the Mustang Fastback, and then we've got the Mustang Coupe. Yeah, that one that's coming back from paint that we're going to be doing some final assembly on. So
that hood's cool, man.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that client's been awesome to work with. Super great. I mean, he's very precise, like what he wanted. So he sent us like a full like PDF file of like all these different images. Like I like this, I like this style hood, things like that. So,
where are you planning on taking that car when it's done?
We haven't really decided yet. Kind of wanted to see, as things progress, like when we're going to finish it up. But I would love to talk him into doing like Columbus Good Guys with it. Yep. I think it'd be really cool.
Be a great car for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, winning awards or whatever it's not like a huge, thing for us, but like I think just to debut it there,
just a good place to show it.
Yeah, throw our hat in the ring and stuff like that, and show what we can do. I think that would be a great spot to do that, and then. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We're still waiting to hear back from the client body shop and how things are progressing there, and then get it worked into our schedule then too. And, so yeah, that one. And then, so the 65 Fastback there, that's got all the chassis stuff. So that's one that I'm doing for myself right now.
Nice.
And so that's kind of the night and weekends project. And
oh my God, you put it? Is that an LS motor or is it a Godzilla?
No, it's a Godzilla.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, because if you put an LS motor,
ruined it.
Jesus.
Well, I was gonna do a Coyote until I heard the infamous George Poteet.
Yeah, fuck a coyote. Fuck a coyote.
Get that word out of your mouth.
So
yeah, the Godzilla,
no,
we're doing a Godzilla, and there's a 71 Mustang out there that we're doing as a survivor build that's getting a Godzilla.
Nice. That's the marked for death Mustang that's down there, right?
Well, I didn't know that's in Marked for Death.
He's got like a
Seagal
like
himself,
like a third generation. Yeah, he gets like totally crushed by like a garbage truck and like a semi truck, and somehow able to come out unscathed, ponytail still straight.
He probably
Yeah,
did
not a
one of
real-
these.
And then he could
little-
run down the road like this. No, it's Godzilla, and then it's a Bowler T56 Magnum.
Sweet.
So
It's good hardware in there. How
Some
do you
cool shit.
How do you nights and weekends on your own car? Where do you find the
yeah,
how do you
I mean
divide
when I had like more of a workforce, like helping out, I was taking like a Fridays or like a day or two like during the week. Like
Yeah.
if I was working on it over the weekend, I wasn't quite finishing what I wanted to get done, I'd be working on Monday morning. But that's kind of I think we're gonna have to rearrange the schedule there. But
what do you do? New guy comes in, you hire a guy, you ask him to Cleco those floor pans in, and he just randomly places every Cleco. How do you deal with that?
Out the door. Like, you have to get the basics down. Okay. Like, I harp on that so much. Like, if you can't cut a straight line, if you can't measure things out, make things symmetrical, like, so everything that we're doing, like on that one specifically, I guess we'll use that as an example, like the chassis, the floor pans, everything like that. I measured out just one side of the front floors, one side of the rear floor, and then you just flip it, and if they're not lining up, then you've got some major issues. But if they're not lining up and you have those major issues, like, why do you have those major issues? Because now it's all in the chassis.
Yep.
So like cross measuring, making sure things are plumb, symmetrical, level. Like, if it's not 100% or within like an industry standard, dimension, which for me is like plus or minus a 32nd of an inch,
yep,
which is way better than what, most metal manufacturing is like plus or minus 1/16, or
yep,
that's like what we taught in fab class. But it depends on where you're going. If you're getting a trailer hitch welded up, like the guy that's
eighth inch is probably okay.
Yeah, he's
right?
The final inspector. He's got a big like sledgehammer at the end, and he's just banging shit out to get it to dimensions. So just measure up one side, build it, prove it, and then duplicate it for the other side. But for Clecos, those are all going to get replaced with, welds, or, the tunnel in the front will be removable. So those are all, those have to be, within dimension. But if you're going to drill a hole anyways, you've got to lay out some kind of line. Why not just lay it out
symmetrically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the finished product certainly reflects when you take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort.
A little neater.
Yeah.
Well, and like, the people that I read about and watched, shows on TV, with, and where they're giving interviews and stuff like that, like, Rad Rides by Troy. And then I just saw one on YouTube of Alan Johnson, and they're like, we want everything, like, where if a client walked into the shop and they're looking at the progress right now, like, it can be shown as is.
Yeah.
Like, we're not hiding anything, so there's no random Clecos anywhere.
Yep.
Bunch of random holes drilled and then circled. Oh, we got to fill this and fill that, like, you've got to have a purpose to everything that you're doing.
Did you have anything to do with the Duster that Fast Freddy's did?
Yeah.
That's a cool car.
Yeah. Yep. So
You guys
I build.
seen that, right?
I set that car up on the chassis, and I sectioned the chassis to narrow it up because it was originally built for that Roadrunner that he was building, the Hellrunner.
Okay.
And so we put it together on that chassis table that my Mustang is on right now, and then I built the floors and the firewall, transmission, drive shaft, tunnel, trunk floor, stuff like that. And then I got busy doing like the stuff that I was doing, and I, subcontracted for a few other shops and doing some build outs on some projects there. And then Freddie called me back in because they had bought a power hammer from Woodward Fab.
Okay.
And he had hired one of my former students and some other, fab guys that needed some training on the power hammer. So he's like we built like a foam buck of like this whole wide body of the Duster now.
Yep.
But we need somebody to like show us how to use the equipment and everything like that. So I came out and broke everything down into sections for the fender, the quarters, and stuff like that, and then put together a little brochure book or something like that on how we're going to go about it, and then figured out everybody's skill level. And, the guys that had the 0 skill level, okay, put them on the easiest sections.
Yep.
The guys that have the better skill level, put them on the harder stuff. And none of those sections were easy because they're all
got some tricky shapes there.
Oh, yeah. There are multiple body lines on those things, and they're low crown reverse curves. So they are about the hardest panels to make. But his guys came through, like his one guy that's does his upholstery and does a lot of his final assembly and stuff, and he had like a background in doing like some metal stamping and stuff like that. Like, I put him on like some medium stuff on the quarters. I'm like, we're gonna wait on the front fenders. Yeah, that dude. I'm like, we're gonna wait on the front fenders, and we'll see how the quarters go. And so he got his section done and just went ahead and started building shit on the front fenders, like the hardest section.
Damn.
And I'm like, holy shit. All right, well, you graduated. I don't need to show you anything more. Like, you can help me, like show the other guys. So,
and this is all on a Woodward Fab hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a point for the Woodward Fab hammer.
So this is the large Woodward Fab hammer, which you'll see the large Metal Master hammer.
Yep.
I think Freddie's got the only one in the country of the large one.
Really?
Because I don't know if there's some copyright infringements or what. Okay. So
got it.
Yeah, I can't say there's
there's an asterisk on that one.
Yep.
This thing was modeled after like a model, correct?
Yeah.
There's a model car that
Yep.
from the 70s that was really bitching.
Yeah,
it's like Mad Max dirt track.
It's mean looking. It's fucking definitely tough looking.
It's cool. Yeah, they did a great job on it. Yep.
We've reached the point that it's standard questions time.
Standard questions. It's the best part.
This is everybody's favorite.
Standard questions fell short last night on the.
It didn't fall short.
The
first standard question was
we
8
weren't
hours long.
The guests weren't exactly in a headspace where they were still prepared.
Great listen.
Able to
People,
handle
you absolutely
questions.
should go back and listen to it. But yes,
yeah, we did have a good time. Good group of guys.
That one. It's
one for the record book.
I've never in the 330 whatever these have been like, all right, you know what? This has been fucking real. We probably should just call it right now. You had
to throw in the towel.
He did.
Yeah, Buddy Hale was like, I'm done. It's over with. I'm done. Wow. We were having a great time. There was no problems. It was just like,
it's just
now we're just hanging out, right? We're not getting any answers.
Sure.
Fun time though. Yeah. First and foremost, everybody's favorite standard questions. Pretty good little Wisconsin tacos that we did.
Yeah.
Let's first, we're going to go to, we'll go to car first. So what year did you graduate high school?
2001.
Okay. This is the era that I'm no good at.
It's the same era that you were in.
You're like
2 years,
3 years
later.
off your era. Dude.
Yeah. What?
I graduated in 97.
Okay.
I was 01.
That was my
4 years
oldest
later.
brother was 97. Okay. You're
I'm
01? Okay.
99.
99. Good year.
Last one.
Yep.
Your first vehicle, was it a gift or did you purchase it?
It was The old family car.
Hand me
So
down.
hand me down.
Yep.
Dad's car, mom's car,
Um,
sister's car, brother's car.
It was kind of both, but I think more so my mom's, I guess, because my dad had like a company vehicle.
Okay.
This was 98 that you got your 98 you got your driver's license.
Yes.
Okay. Mom's car.
This
How
is-
many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers.
Yep.
Key bit of information there.
families from the Eau Claire area, or was this down? You said you were in Woodstock for a
Yep.
bit.
So I got my license in Woodstock.
He already told you it was Eau Claire. You're
Claire,
pronouncing
sorry.
it wrong. I learned that today.
That's all right. Everybody calls it Eau Claire,
Okay.
or
Eau Claire.
so I live in Oliva, outside of Eau Claire. It's
Okay.
big bad Oliva. It's like 400 people.
But this was when you got your license, you were in Woodstock, right?
I was in Woodstock. Yep. George H. Ryan, DMV.
Yeah, it's close. Not too far from here.
2 older brothers. That era.
I'm going to go with a Midwest selection from that era.
Tahoe.
Now, if you look back, a lot of people forget this era of the 4-door Blazer, which was very small.
S10 Blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
S10 Blazer, but like towards the tail end of its S10-ish. You're like late 90s.
The rounded one.
Yeah.
Not the square body.
Yep.
Rounded S10 Blazer.
Yeah. And as the
Yeah.
4-door, they optioned them out. Later went on to the Envoy, on the
Or the
higher
Trailblazer.
option. The Trailblazer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of the Trailblazer, not the Blazer.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm thinking of because the Trailblazer was that was new in
Yes.
like late 90s.
Great call on the
Yes.
Trailblazer.
Yes,
It's the
where I'm at, yeah.
Trailblazer.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
Trailblazer 4-door.
I was in a similar wheelhouse. I was going to take a little pull from our era and go with a first-gen Ford Explorer.
I was first gen or first gen
With a
square.
rounded one is okay. Then the second gen.
Second gen.
Yeah.
Second gen, Eddie Bauer.
I don't know if it was Eddie Bauer.
I'm going Eddie Bauer.
That's a pretty good pull.
Green with the tan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have gone maroon if it was.
I'm with you on the Explorer. Yes.
Okay.
It was an SUV.
Those cars have gone from the face of the earth.
No. Trailblazer's really good call. I'm feeling strong about the Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even close. No.
Mercury. Grand Marquis.
1990 Honda Accord 4-door.
Oh shit. See, I got
The
too comfortable feeling like it was close to home.
I was going to go
That's what
Maxima.
happened.
I was going to go Nissan Maxima, but when he said 2 older brothers, it threw me off because you're talking about like, you got to haul around kids, right? So I was going with the bigger.
No, we had that. We took it down to Florida, I think, twice.
Y'all rode 3 deep in the back?
3 deep in the back. Worst experience traveling ever.
I'll bet.
No fights on that one.
I would rather circumnavigate the globe in economy class on fucking
I'm sure it was-
Frontier or
I'm
Spirit
sure it was.
than to ride in the backseat of a Honda Accord down to fucking Florida ever again.
I'm sure your parents weren't exactly having the time of their fucking lives
Oh,
either in the
no.
front.
Shut
my-
up! Stop touching him.
My dad drove like nonstop through the middle of the night.
Just
to
get there.
Fucking get there.
What age were you and your brothers at that point?
Oh, Jesus.
Just imagine what that car smelled like.
I think the last time we did it, I think I was like in 5th grade. So my other brother
No
was
way.
he was in 7th grade, and my oldest brother was a freshman in high
No,
school.
that'd be a we have
If we-
Florida at home situation.
We did we did a Florida drive with
Water
a
sand.
square body Suburban. It was the last year of the square body Suburban, 91, with a U-Haul trailer with a Chrysler Sebring convertible on the
Jesus.
trailer.
That's a lot of iron.
I got
Chrysler Sebring. What was this infatuation with these convertible Chrysler
I
products?
don't know. It's yeah.
That's-
It's,
I didn't realize there was a
you had
Sebring.
LeBaron?
I didn't realize there was a Sebring in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, the
Those
Gold
were-
package.
No.
it was white with the tan top.
Those LeBarons were
the
hot
LeBaron
in,
was
in
a fucking
Northern Illinois in
banger.
the late 90s, early 2000s.
Everybody had one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Thunderbird was there in there too, right?
Yeah.
What's the deal with these?
My mom had the
There's
Thunderbird. Yeah.
infatuation with these.
I don't think it was me. It was all those were all.
I know
on
it
my
wasn't
dad's
you.
side.
I'm just saying it's.
But yeah, I got pulled over somewhere in Tennessee for potential DUI because the fucking tongue weight on that trailer. And this trailer, the cop pulls, I'm 16. Like, I had just gotten my license, and he made me get out of the car. My whole family's in the car. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he's like, good news is I don't smell any alcohol in your breath. I'm like, fuck?
With my family.
Like, yeah.
This thing needs ball joints. Come on.
Yeah.
Ground effects on the Suburban? Was it
No,
like,
it was two-wheel drive, but just like the silver with the blue two-tone.
How is 4-wheel drive?
No, it was two-wheel. Two-wheel drive.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%. The old blue was a 4x4. This was the other
Old
one.
Blue was 8-lug, wasn't it?
Would have been. Yeah, this was two-wheel drive. Two-wheel
That was
drive because I
4-wheel drive.
rocked it for a little bit early on, and I was always trying to. I was
One
looking
wheel
at
peel?
I was looking at lifting it.
Oh.
So I looked at the it was pretty.
So when we
Did you ever go around the corner and get that thing lifted up with a light on the right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It did it. You know what it would do. Anybody that's ever driven one of those that knows exactly what it'll do. There's no fear of it, like
That's not
whipping.
going over.
No,
It's not going out.
no.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to get it offloaded enough to haze it.
No, so when we landed in Woodstock, Illinois, that Honda Accord got designated for me and my brothers, and then my parents went and got like a brand new, said Dodge Grand Caravan at Joe Gentile in Barrington.
Oh.
Is he still around?
No.
Or that
That's
dealership
Phil's
still
neck
around?
of the woods. I don't know.
No, not around.
It rings a
Okay.
bell.
Joe
though.
Gentile sounds like a dude got arrested.
Oh yeah, he was like this tall and smoked a cigar. I think that was twice as long as him. Yep.
Joe Gentile. Next up, all right, we were way off on the on the car.
I'm telling you, it's 100%. Just I got too cocky, too confident with the Midwest.
Yeah, I got thrown off by the kids. I didn't realize anybody would haul 3 kids in the back of an Accord all the way down to Florida. All right, next
My
up,
dad's a character.
most memorable law enforcement interaction story.
Oh God. All right.
Yeah,
So while Freddie and I were working at MCR together, Muscle Car Restorations together,
Jumped on the snow machines.
no, we never called them snow machines.
Got a brandy old fashioned.
That's a little bit
That's
little bit
further
north. Yeah.
way up
Yep. And then so working with that guy that helped me chop the Lincoln Zephyr, we met this other friend of ours who he was big into traditional hot rods. He was building a Model A, so we got to be really good friends with him. And then he introduced us to another one of his like high school friends who was building a 49 Merc that wanted it chopped. I'm like, hey, I can chop that for you. So like we're like, we should just like pool our resources together and rent a shop. So we rented a shop down on Water Street in Eau Claire, which is just off of the campus. And so Water Street / the Street of Dreams, they call it. It's just lined with fucking bars, you know, from one end to the other. Just perfect place for people in their early 20s and underage to just go and just make a fool of themselves. So we had a shop on Water Street.
Perfect.
For our hot rod shop. And we had we had that Merc down there. We had my 50 Ford. We had my friend Chadley, his Model A was down there. He had
Shop door up, lights on,
Oh,
drinking
yeah.
PBRs.
Yep.
Thought you were landing chicks, pulling them in off the streets.
Yeah.
and-
Yep. Playing some,
Yep.
you know, punk music and, you know, Operation Ivy, Rancid, like
Good stuff.
Social Distortion, like all that shit.
New album coming out.
Yep. Social D's got a new
Did you
album?
see that?
No.
Yeah, they just hung it out there. I saw it on Spotify. New album coming out.
Man.
Keep an eye out.
All right. Yeah. Check that out.
I'm still a fan.
So yeah, and then we had a front engine dragster down there too that we didn't know what to do with it, so we kind of like put it up against the wall like it was climbing the wall and ratchet it down, and And so I was working on my car in there, my 50 Ford, and I was doing final assembly on it. And I had it running, wasn't quite driving. I hadn't had it out on the road yet. And we would have like notorious like parties down there. All the old time hot rod guys would start coming down there. So Gordy, that helped me chop the tops, you know, we got introduced to his whole friend group. So they would come down Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and like our front parking lot would just be fucking lined with
living
hot
the
rods.
life, man.
And it was awesome. And they're like, this reminds us of like the 70s. Like this is like American graffiti, you know, kind of stuff. And so, yeah, like they would come down, you know, and it was a blast. And so we were down there. I think this was like a Friday or Saturday night, and pre-party at the shop, go down to, you know, the Street of Dreams, drink at the bar close. All right, we're gonna have after bar at the shop. And we had a full horseshoe-shaped bar in there that we got out of the VFW in Eau Claire, and because we
Two
were
VFW references.
the guy that we bought the front engine dragster from, or no, we sold him the front engine dragster, but he was an old hot rodder from back in like the 60s, and so he had a transmission shop in town, and he was kind of like the manager, overseer of the VFW, or one of the VFWs. He's like, we're remodeling, we're getting rid of this bar. Do you guys want it? Fuck
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
we'll take it. So we had that in there. And so anyways, we come back from bar close. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're having an after bar. And so somebody is like telling me like, hey, your car's running right now. You got brand new tires on there. Get in your car and do a brake stand burnout. Like, all right, fuck, sounds great. You know, no judgment. And so Freddie's
I've been waiting for a reason.
Yeah, Freddie's in the back room. He had just finished like going through his motorcycle, so he fucking hops on that thing, puts it into a corner, and we're both doing brake stands with this thing. And there's this smoke billowing out of the shop, and it's going out onto Water Street. The wind's carrying it. It's out onto Water Street. Next thing I know, because my car is like right facing out towards Water Street. Next thing I know, here comes a fucking cop car just blazing in there like as fast as possible. Lights on, spotlights on, like, you know, you can see him scanning through the smoke. And he hops out of his squad car and he just starts shouting out, "Who lives here? Who lives here?"
Your mom. Inside the smoke.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Because
That would be you.
I've got a beer in my hand and I'm in my car and it's running and I'm like, this thing's not fucking licensed. It's not insured. Like,
Fucking throttle stuck.
I'm fucking screwed. So like somebody runs back to the back room and tells Freddie like, hey, like knock it off. The cops are here. So like as you know, as things are starting to like progress, like the smoke's coming out, this guy's fucking coming in. He's coming in hot, this cop, and he's got his flashlight. And as soon as like the smoke breaks and I can make a visual on him, I'm like, oh fuck.
It's a problem.
I know who this guy is.
Oh.
Okay, so timeout. Little character development here. Little jump cut, like Quentin Tarantino jump cut.
They're always good.
So we've had a history. I realize this. I'm like, I know who this guy is.
The worst one.
So this happened in like the late spring, you know, nice weather out. So going back into the fall was like the homecoming for the university. And so they've got, you know, the parade down Water Street and this and that. It's called the Doll and Pet Parade. In the right away in the morning, it's for like all the kids and shit, you know. The later stuff happens for the college kids. So this is like on a Saturday back in the fall, and I'm trying to get down to the shop to like work on my car because I've got like a Unabomber apartment downtown. I don't hang around, you know. This is all pre kind of social media, you know, smartphones. You know, this is like Ring Brothers flip phone era.
Oh yeah,
you know.
So this is like yesterday.
And So like I'm trying to get down to the shop, and they got fucking all these, side streets are like cordoned off. They're like blocked off. So I fucking get out. I move the fucking barricade. Like this isn't the road that the parade comes down. Why is this blocked off? So I move a barricade and I get around. And then I come to this one, and I got to take this small right-hand turn, and there's the alley to get into the back of the shop. But they've got like a full fortress set up, and I'm stuck there. And here are these two cops on bicycles.
Cops.
One guy comes over, and he's like, "You can't come through here." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but like I'm trying to get into work here. This is my shop." And so like I'm talking to this guy, and this other bike cop comes like pedaling up. I hear the ding ding, of his
He rings a bell too?
Yeah. Let me know that he's coming.
I don't think
That's intimidating.
but it sounds good.
And he's just like, "Well, why don't you fucking move the barricades like you did the rest of the ones?" And I'm like, "What are you talking
Listen,
about?"
John.
Yeah. and he's like, "Well, you obviously had to move the barricades in order to get in here."
That's fine. I can do it again.
And so I'm like trying to figure out what this dude's deal is. I don't know if he's all pissed off inside because he's on like
A bicycle.
third row detail. He's not on the main. He's not on the up front action at the
Yeah,
Doll
they-
and Pet
they
Parade
threw him
on Water Street.
way
He's
out there in
like
the
back like two blocks.
Yeah.
And on a
Like
bicycle.
handling a barricade. And so he's all like worked up about that. And so that's who I recognize. And so, yeah, we had gotten into a little bit of a
verbal altercation.
heated discussion about me being able to get in there. So, like, I recognize that guy, like, right away. Yep, that's the guy that's barking orders right now out in front of the smoke.
Let's see, you got yourself a car.
Yeah.
Got off that bike, huh?
Yeah,
Good for you, buddy.
And he's solo. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this isn't going to go well. And so I'm stuffing like the can of beer underneath the driver's seat. And I get out like right away because I don't want him to get into the vehicle. And like I take him outside. I'm like, hey, like, let's you and I talk. And so my friend who was down there, he was saying something to the cop. Because the guy's like, who lives here? And he's like, nobody lives here, man. This is a shop, man. and he said something else about like, well, I don't know, I could haul all you guys in or something like that. And he's like, well, you can't do that. Like, or you can't come in here. This is a private residence or something like that. He's like, oh, I think I know the law better than you. And so I'm like taking this guy out, and because all these other people are like cocking off to him, and they're talking about running. I'm like, don't fucking go anywhere. Don't run anywhere. And so I take the guy outside, and I'm like calming him down. He didn't recognize me, thankfully. And I'm like, all right, like, he's like, well, I'm either taking you to jail or I'm writing you a ticket. I'm like, well, I'll take the ticket. I don't want to go to jail. And he's like, well, you seem like you're good and sober, and like the rest of these guys seem like they're pretty agitated and they've been out drinking and everything. I'm like, yeah, they have. I'm listening to reason here. Let's. I'll just take the ticket, So I was able to calm him down. He gave me a ticket for, it was like disorderly conduct or something like that. It was $198.60. I still know the value of it.
That would go on the driving record, or is that just
no?
A slap on
we
the
all just doled out money.
a couple bucks?
Pass the hat.
Yeah, everybody else that was down there already had like the money together. They're like, oh, this is the most entertaining thing we've seen all night. So.
That was a good call, though. Like you should have, in that situation, pull a shoe off or something and try to wedge it into the gas pedal, however you can.
You
and
help
then,
me, help me,
and then
help
get,
me.
oh my god, this thing's just stuck. It's stuck. Start screaming.
I did
Swine's
that
in
on
the-
the burnout in the Challenger
Swine's
when
in
I
the
was
shop.
16.
The throttle stuck.
Foot slipped off the clutch and then just luckily had like mud on the side of my shoes and just like side of my shoe all over the clutch pedal. I'm like, look, it's filthy. Got off.
It happens.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, next up. Old Faithful favorite car movie.
God, there's so many good
I
ones.
feel like you're an American Graffiti guy. There's just something that
I do like American Graffiti. It's a great movie. I like Bullet. Big fan of Bullet. Steve McQueen, King of Cool. Rebel Without a Cause. James Dean, The Merc. Fantastic movie. Dennis Hopper, great cameo in that. I like Ford versus Ferrari. I would say that's probably one of the best car movies to come around in many decades. But I would have to say from my youth, like what made me like recognize cars would have to be Dazed and Confused.
hell yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
I like, I really like Days of Thunder. Awesome movie.
Those are my two.
But considering the fact that they're both Tony Scott movies and Top Gun came before Days of Thunder,
Yep.
and that
I saw Top Gun in the theater.
did you?
Yeah.
I saw Days of Thunder in the theater.
Oh, really?
That must have been something. I didn't.
I saw Top Gun in the theater.
Days of
remember
Thunder
seeing
is
it.
That'd be a
I remember
cool
s-
comeback.
it's a great
in the
I
movie.
remember seeing the signs. I saw
God.
Rocky 5 in the theaters.
Really?
Yeah. Deerbrook Mall.
I think you were one of the only people.
Did you know the end of Rocky V? Stallone wrote that where he was gonna run up the steps and die.
Did he really?
Up at the top? Yep.
Thank God he didn't go with that script. Because we've got another century of just goodness.
Well, now you've got.
He wouldn't have died in real
you've got
life. It'd
the
have been in the
whole,
movie.
like,
But it would have
Creed.
ended the series, dude.
Yeah.
You get it?
You've got the whole.
Well, what came after
Creed,
5 that was worth watching?
Balboa.
No, it was. I said worth watching.
Rocky
This is
Balboa.
the best speech in the history.
This is the worst movie.
Shut your...
Rocky Balboa?
Josh, just stop.
Everybody knows that.
Dazed and Confused. Let's go back to Dazed and Confused. O'Banion's Duster, Woodford's 70 Chevelle, or Pickford's 70 GTO Judge. If you could,
Yep.
if you could have one, which one is it? Which one is it, and what would you do to it?
Well, if I got him after the movie, I'd know that I'd have to put in a clutch into O'Banion's car because he completely
That clutch
fucking
burnout.
toasted that thing. Jesus.
Good call. Good call.
I mean, talk about a low budget movie. They didn't even were able to show the guys how to drive those cars. But O'Banion is like he's a character in that movie. Pickford, yeah. I mean, well, no. Let's see. Yeah, he had the Judge.
Yeah.
That thing was pretty badass with the his and hers shifter in it.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with the Judge.
The Judge would be. That's mine too.
Yeah.
The Judge was the. I mean, Wooderson's car's nasty. It's right behind us.
Yeah.
right? But the
They did
Judge.
that all day long.
The Judge was cool.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
opening scene, dude, with Aerosmith, Sweet Emotions.
That's
playing,
probably
thing rolling in, dude.
probably the best opening to any car movie, I would say. Ever.
Hands down.
Yeah.
That 2-lane blacktop's a close second. If you
Days
ever,
of Thunder. Come on.
well, yeah. If you ever wanted
That
to
with
see,
surround sound and then
just watch
On a laser
the
disc?
first minute of 2-lane blacktop, and then you don't have to watch the rest.
Fucking over the hands. Over the
Yeah.
pants, under the. Yeah. What?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Surround sound, Days of Thunder,
Oh,
laser disc.
you have an experience.
Infinity, brand new Infinity speakers, and parents are out.
You
Not at my
Corey.
house. This was a girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Laser discs. Something else.
Days of Thunder is that's a mega movie.
I was-
I love.
I
that
watch
movie.
Days of Thunder at least once a year, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It's
been a little
that
while
and
since I've seen
Tombstone
it.
are on heavy
Oh.
rotation.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Tombstone I reserve for special. I don't want to overdo it.
Oh yeah, I can.
Man,
I
that's
know.
a good flick.
Yeah.
I'll watch Days of Thunder way more than Top Gun, and I like Top Gun, but
Tombstone, you want Quick and the Dead ever? With Gene Hackman.
oh yeah.
That's another good cowboy flick from
I
the
like
same era.
Yeah, I like another Gene Hackman and Clint Eastwood. I like
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It's probably one of the best westerns that's been made in like our generation.
That's a great one. And it's got Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman.
Yep.
That dynamic through the thing is fucking amazing. Yep. Great movie.
Yep.
Gene Hackman plays a rare character for him in that.
He played such a hard ass in that movie, and then kind of the same character in like Crimson Tide with Denzel. Yep.
Fucking Denzel. Denzel's the man.
Did you ever watch Deadwood?
Oh yeah. Great.
That's a great series.
Great show.
Shit, that's good.
They should have
really good.
Kept that one
was good.
going.
Yeah.
What is it about westerns though? Like Western movies, for something that's so popular that they just can't do it. What, like, it always presents as such a low budget film. Any new Western, like, what was the last?
I mean, I don't
Western?
know. The Hateful Eight was
But
amazing.
That's not recent. You know, you're 10 years ago probably now.
Well, when's the last Western? What's reference one that you're talking about?
All of them. Like, think of, there's Westerns that come out, dozens of them every year, and they're all like these ridiculous. You'll see some decent actors in them, and they appear as the most low budget, cheesy ass movies. And there's only like once every decade one comes out that hits, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like an easy topic to.
How about one from our generation, Young Guns?
Young Guns.
Emilio?
Young Guns too.
Yeah.
What's better?
I don't really remember.
Young Guns was good.
Yeah.
I saw Young Guns 2 in the theater.
Really?
Yep.
Young Guns 1 that's a banger.
It was Charlie's brother, right?
Oh, yeah.
Emilio.
Well,
Emilio.
Charlie was in the first one.
He
too.
was in the first one.
Yep.
I like Young Guns.
Yep.
I remember I was young
Oh yeah.
watching that.
Yeah.
And,
I think that came out in like.
I remember my dad
80,
loved it.
89.
He was
88, 89, something like that. Yep.
How going down movies. Next up, the newest edition.
It's probably our best edition.
Best edition. Any car. What car would you have built? Who would build it? No budget. Please don't say Troy. Done. I'm done with it.
Other than
That no budget disqualifies him.
yeah.
Well.
Right. Yeah.
Troy can break no budget. He's the only guy that
Yeah, I
can
know.
break the no budget.
Troy's since retired.
I think I'm definitely going to put together a dream team
Okay.
on this one. But I like oddball cars, you know, with the Graham and the Corvair. But now everybody and their mothers are doing Corvairs now.
Yeah. We talked a lot about Fieros last night.
Fieros. Oh,
Yeah.
that could be cool.
So consider it.
That could be cool. All right. But I'm going to go even further outside the box than that. I'm going to go 1990 Chevy Beretta.
Oh, you're fucking speaking my language.
Finally,
Yes.
somebody on here with some fucking taste.
Okay.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
But-
Tell me about this build.
All right.
Now I'm excited.
So here's.
Hang on, Melinda. Which hair salon do you work at?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm picturing her
So
right now.
here's the
teased
dream,
up.
the dream team. I'm gonna get Andreas Winnevold
Designer.
to design
Okay.
exterior.
Yep.
But I also want to have Sean Smith
Okay.
to be a designer to help out with exterior and do interior.
Can
Okay.
you make it better than the original?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It is a good
'Cause
car.
we're
This
gonna
is
get
this is something we're
all
legitimate
lined
going to
up.
be pitching in.
We're all lined up.
What's this going to take to make happen?
So I'm gonna have Rob Ida be the chief
Fuck yeah.
engineer because I wanna gull wing it.
Yes.
And
yeah.
so it's going to
DeLorean
be,
style
you guys
on
are
a Beretta.
going to do the chassis.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be based on a C8 because I want to do mid-engine.
Okay.
And
In a Beretta, it's a trunk car.
Can
Yeah.
be done. It can be done.
It's going to be done.
Just remove the back seat. look at it.
Anything's
silhouette.
possible with
Just-
no budget.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keeping that red interior, that fuzzy red interior, some spin on it.
So I love like what
The
you
gray
guys
is better.
what you guys did on that Grand National down there with the interior.
That
Like,
gray
you just
and that
played
Beretta.
off that original shit, but like made it, just elevated it.
What do we got to do to make this happen?
Well, let's keep going.
This
We're
is
not
the
done-
most
we're not done
exciting.
yet. We're not done yet.
All
We got to
right.
get the interior. There's more.
Yep.
There's wheels. We got to build this whole car.
So I think HRE wheels.
Yep.
Probably have, machining done. Maybe EVOD or Ring Brothers as well. Like get involved with that stuff, and I would like to have fab wise, BBT fab. So Troy Gudgel.
Yeah.
Right.
Troy,
His mirrors already look like a Beretta mirror,
Yep.
so they'd fit right in.
Troy light and Troy heavy.
Okay.
But maybe we could bypass Troy heavy and just go direct to.
I think Troy Heavy will
Adam.
just come in and pulse back over Troy Light's welds.
Yes.
That's his sole job. He'll just come in and
I
anything.
clean those up
yeah,
for
he'll
you.
just pulse back
I'll
over.
clean those. So you said C8 and transaxle.
What do we- yeah,
and
what's the power
But the
plant
motor,
then?
you're not the.
We stick with that. What do they call that?
You're gonna have to do V6. You're gonna have to get the space. I mean, you think
That-
about center
that I'm
line of the
open
wheel
to.
and where that thing's gonna be at. Think about center line of the rear wheel to where the back of the front seat is.
Yeah, but so we're ditching the back seat's gone.
Well, yeah, but that's not even the problem. You've just got distance to where the
Yeah, but
seat.
that car was maybe front. Pull the one up. Let's look at it because that car was maybe front heavy.
Oh, it's way front heavy.
Yeah.
But you're gonna do what? You're gonna do cab forward? You're gonna do a little.
No, I don't. I think you could
good.
probably put the doors were long. I think you could put some meat in like the quarter window area. Maybe let's take a look at one. Let's see a side profile.
What are we thinking? 92.
Yeah, 90, 92.
They did a Z
Z26.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh yeah.
24 or 26.
26.
And I like
The Cavalier was a
so
24.
they had like a blue with a purple
yes.
Yes.
Z26. I like that. Oh
The Indy.
yeah,
That was
look
the
at
pace
that
car.
with the
fucking
sunroof.
pace,
Oh, you
Pace
got.
car. It was a pace car. The proportions are good, dude.
That's the highest end. That's the GTZ. That's the shit. It doesn't get any.
I could
That's
see-
ground effects
all right.
and everything.
You could shrink. You could probably shrink up. You could push the quarter window back, drag the wheelbase back a little bit. It's short. The quarter window
Behind the-
area is decent, but behind the
Behind the front door, behind the back of the door, you could put some there.
you could put a little there. You could extend the back. What's hanging over behind the wheel? Kind of drag that
I
out.
don't know. That's what makes it. It's what makes it what it is.
I wouldn't touch the door.
You could-
The door looks good, and you're right. It's already got BBT mirrors.
See,
Right?
Go to that black one. That's a good looking whip.
Oh, with the red bow tie badge. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of Camaro. There's a lot of third
Yeah, a lot
gen
of third gen
Camaro in
in
the
that.
front of that. I've never noticed until that particular picture.
That is a hot car.
It is.
I mean,
it
I would
legitimately is.
I would just daily it as is.
I would.
there was one that came up local.
Yeah, the Indy one.
big
They
money.
had a yellow one at Volo Auto Museum.
For $90,000.
It was like 60.
Yeah.
No shit.
Insane.
Yeah, it was 1800 miles or something stupid.
Yeah. The Krasnys, dude. Fucking Keith Krasny.
What?
Legendary Deerfield family, buddy of mine I grew up with. They had a Beretta that went through like 6 generations of Krasnys and then got handed down to yet another buddy, Matt Oster, drove it. Car had like fucking 975,000 miles on it. It just bulletproof machine.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good looking.
I mean, I would even do like a paint scheme like the City Chevrolet. You know, the multi-green
Yes.
black
Yeah.
badging would be cool.
We're gonna start seeing some
think we
engineering
should-
conceptuals on
I
this
think this
thing.
is good
I don't think a V8 fits.
I think this is good enough. And we recently had Sean Smith on the podcast. I wonder if Sean Smith would be willing to sketch something up for us
That would be badass.
just for the podcast.
Just
you
a
know?
line drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need
just
to
give
see
us
what a
something.
Beretta could look like.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's been called out now.
Yeah. Sean, if you're listening, we're expecting
Something.
concepts
Yeah.
on the
Give us-
Beretta.
give us like
Yeah.
a silhouette, something.
And Rob Ida, if you're listening, we need that engineering figured out for
Yeah.
the gull wings.
Just, dude, this
I
thing's
don't
gonna
see
hit.
the gold wing.
I think anything's possible with it. It's a blank canvas, this car.
Yeah.
I'd almost Lambo door it before I'd go wing it, but
Either that or what about
think I'd
like
go
some
Ford GT door.
GT, yeah.
Yeah, kind of
Bring the roof in.
Well,
so
you're
the
giving
roof
it
comes
the
over.
you're giving it the gull wing look.
Yeah.
Without hinging the door that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, given the
I'm down
ride
with
height
that.
because you could afford
That's
to.
a compromise I'm willing to take.
Yep. If you could bring the belt line up to sort of match the windshield line.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're gonna.
You don't think?
Hear me out. Well, let's hear me out. Like
Go ahead.
all these are great ideas. That thing's coming down, right? You're gonna have to fuck with the back a little bit. We're stuck on the mid engine, right?
Yeah.
But Targa,
Targa makes sense.
Targa, where you can
right.
then you can start seeing that engine back in the back.
Click on the red one, though, bottom left. That shows you.
Yeah, you're
look how
right.
big the window
Glass
is.
is too
We've
tall.
got to
Belt
bring.
line's
We
gotta
got to
come up.
bring that line up.
Yes.
Even
Yeah,
with
you
the
could-
top of the
you could-
trunk,
you could
from the
lengthen
fender right to the
wheelbase.
trunk.
Yes.
Yep.
Bring that up and then hammer.
Yeah,
the
I'm
edge.
still
I could
saying
buy-
like where center line and then where the front of that C8
Yeah.
We'll put a V drive in it.
accessory drive is. I think you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go exotic V6 or something like that, which is fine. It fits the era.
How about a transverse mount?
The V6 helps. I wish the EcoBoost, Ford's EcoBoost would have been great if Chevy had a comparable
They got a
motor, but I don't know what they got.
I don't know.
I'd-
Do some digging.
Well, there
could
are
do
those
that
LS.
We could still do front engine. This is in the infancy.
No, but I like where you were at on the transaxle.
Yeah.
I-
I
yeah.
think you do that V6, that six-cylinder
V6
LS. That, have you seen that guys have been playing with?
No.
It's been at PRI.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, there's a 6 and then
There's
There's
a
a four.
four-cylinder.
Four is the Modus.
inline
The Modus one that they did.
Oh, there's the half. Modus is a V4. Then there's the Sprint Car Company was doing them as a inline 4.
Oh, I didn't know the inline four.
Yeah, they're just taking one head.
Yes.
And the left half of the block.
but you still have the length.
Yeah, the link's still there.
Put it sideways.
But you're not going
then
to
you
put the
gotta-
transaxle. You have to do
You-
it different.
Yeah.
Different
I think
transaxle.
that car had such a sound about it. The initial
I think that was the
startup,
holes in the muffler.
Yeah.
they had like this high idle. Remember them? Like they
Yeah, I know exactly. I know it well. I know the shifter. I know.
yeah the T handle.
Oh,
That's a good pull, dude.
Really
That's-
good pull.
That's the first time I think.
Yeah, you gained serious fans
Yeah.
on this one.
yeah, yeah.
I
Now,
hope so,
now we're
yeah.
doing something.
Let's make it happen.
Yep. There's
Yeah.
going to be. I'm
Some-
telling you, this will be the time that a customer's listening. Like, hey, heard you guys talking about that build. Let's gather the team. Let's do this.
Yep. Roadster shop chassis. You guys have that AMX chassis you guys did for those guys. So I had a chance to meet Joe from Detroit Metal Shaping out last weekend at.
Well, that was those dudes. That's all theirs.
Oh, is it?
Well, we didn't have anything to do with
Oh,
that.
I thought
I've
you
been
guys
no,
had
I've been
built the
following.
chassis for it.
I've been
Okay.
following those guys. That's
Holy
all
shit,
his
dude!
His
Like,
doing. That's very
that
impressive.
thing's cool. But and then the one that you guys are doing for Andy.
Yeah, and
that
that thing's
project.
wild.
Yeah, you guys don't have that here still.
It just
Just
left.
left.
Fuck.
Yeah, Andy just took it. He's got it in his shop. He's rocking and
He's
rolling
making
on it.
progress on it.
Yeah.
He's rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
I
he's
remember
kicking
seeing
ass.
him on. You guys remember the show Rides
Of course.
on TLC?
Yeah, he was at Troy's.
One of
back
the
then.
best car shows ever on
Hands
TV.
down.
Yeah.
But there was no drama, so it didn't make it too long.
Yeah.
But that's where they did Rogan's
the
CUDA on there. And then, down at Troy's, they had Andy and then
Levi.
and then, Levi, yep. So,
I wonder why Bud doesn't just fucking get off his ass and bring that show back.
I don't know.
I'd love to see it at least on like a streaming platform where we could watch like
Yeah.
original
Somebody's got to
episodes.
fund
you
it.
talked-
Somebody's got to fund it.
Have you talked to Bud about why the fuck hasn't Bud done the podcast?
He's supposed to have done it probably 5 times.
Bud's a busy man.
We probably have to go out to his place and do
I'm
it.
sure probably to fly out there and
Yeah, Bud Brutzman produced it. And
Okay.
we're pretty tight with him. He's a good dude. He does the Battle of the Builders now
Oh, nice.
and produces that.
Okay.
But I wonder why. Obviously, there's the production of like everybody wants the fucking drama crap, and there's the
Yep.
same recipe that goes over and over again. But I feel like that would do so well to bring it back.
be perfect for Netflix. It's
Yeah.
a great deal for Netflix.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
it's chef's table style
Yes,
and do that for
produced,
rides.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
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 It's funny. There's what car show? Why is that? get wildly off track from this awesome Beretta build, but what car shows are there that are on the street, like street Netflix, specifically Netflix and Prime? Is there anything that's any different than sort of the standard recipe that's landing on those two?
I don't search car stuff on. I'll be honest with you.
I don't
know
either,
what's
but you
on
would
there.
think it would land on.
You would think.
I don't think anybody's got the patience to stay in the saddle for the year or two before you can even go to air with the show. So you got to follow a build along for that entire length of time, and if you're doing multiple builds,
The ones, so like I remember watching American Hot Rod, which when that first came out it was a great show, and it would take them like 2 or 3 episodes to like build a car, and they're actually like showing how to build the car.
Yep.
You know, but then as the seasons progressed, it was like, stay tuned for next week, see who doesn't make it, you know.
Well, and they started bringing in characters. You know, they brought in Lee.
Yeah.
Lee
Blue
and
Bear.
then Blue Bear. What we going to do
I like
today?
Leroy.
Lee was hilarious. Leroy.
It was Lee and
Lee
Roy.
and Leroy. Leroy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was a great era. But you could do it with without, I think, capturing a full start to finish. There's enough craftsmanship out there, I think.
Oh, I agree.
Somebody could curate like a good show.
Yeah, again, I think you do it like Chef's Table, where you can tell the story of why, and I mean, it's shot well and done well. Somebody's got to pay for it. That's the thing. Somebody's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
You got to pitch it well enough, and somebody's got to pay for it, and then it goes.
Well, speaking of paying for it, the Beretta's happening.
Beretta's happening.
Beretta's happening. A lot of good ideas, but as I'm looking at the side profile of the car, what are we doing with the sheet metal in the car? How are we altering the body of that car? What's the vision?
Wide body. So fenders
Box
have got to
flares
go.
or pro street vision? What's the
No, it's box
No,
flares.
like we're doing like full on
IMSA.
Like,
Okay.
like what you guys did with like the Rampage, Road Rage, like something like that.
Yeah, big ass nasty
yeah,
flare.
I want to see like minimum 315s all 4 corners. I would like to see like a balance like that, so that it's more of that race car kind of style look to it.
Hell yeah.
that 4th gen I sent you the other day.
That was a pretty damn cool. Phil didn't like my reply about it. But these exchanges are great. Like Phil, there's so many cool AI renderings, so he sends me this rendering that was actually pretty damn cool. It's a 4th gen Camaro that had some box flares on it.
Oh, cool.
And he said this would be a great like production car. So this, I don't know, late night. I think this was after the podcast.
I don't know if you read this. You're not going to get any more fans. with
Go ahead
this,
and
but
read. Yeah, you go ahead and read it.
Looks cool. Pretty sure most of the guys who own those are still servers at the same restaurant they worked at when they bought the car, slightly used. Not sure the money's there, but it does look cool.
Oh, that's a great comment.
In the O'Charlie's parking lot.
You know what I'm talking about?
100% no. Great pull.
Well, so the Beretta, there's been a lot of customers I know that have ponied up for builds on a lot of the car shows, whether it be a Kindig,
That's cool.
a Bitch and Rides. There's some customers that like,
Oddball.
well, they like Oddball and they like being a part of the publicity and the process of building something that's
Sure.
heavily marketed and heavily televised.
Yeah.
Dude, I think we could get behind this. If anybody's listening that wants to pool all these people together.
Yeah, and
And build a Beretta.
we're not far apart. We're 4.5 hours away.
No, it could work so easy.
It could very
work.
easily work.
Yeah.
Somebody's just got to pay for it.
That's
Same thing with rides.
Yep.
But somebody's got to have the balls enough to do.
YouTube series. Let's go. Somebody fucking needs to pony up.
Oh yeah, it could be. Take it out to SEMA. Take it out to Street Machine of the Year.
Right.
Like if you're showing up for Street Machine of the Year with something like that,
Fuck going to a show. Let's just
Yeah.
drive it. Go to dinner.
take it to Road America.
Hell yeah.
Take it to Sabaro.
That's what I'm talking about.
Get you an Orange Julius.
Yeah.
Maybe a Mrs. Fields cookie.
Oh yeah.
See what new Super Nintendo games have dropped.
But anybody that is willing to pony up to bring the super team together, is going to be a legendary customer.
Oh, it'll be
You
like
think
something
Saxton's
that's-
cool enough to rock that?
No. Saxton's cool, but
Not that cool.
he's not that cool. No, I think he probably needs to open about 700 or 800 more locations before he's ready for that type of build.
I'm telling you what, the Misty that drove that with, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With that hair. That
LA looks.
Oh man, spray tan. Yeah. That's
Yeah, everybody
my
laughs.
That's
But
a
look at
fresh ass pair of Keds.
Yes.
what's
jean shorts, hemmed.
Scott? What's his name that does all the cool ass Pro Street 80s 90s stuff?
Scott Sullivan.
Scott Sullivan he did a Beretta back in the day.
Did he?
Google it. This is not a joke. Like, this car has potential.
Oh, I sent you another one. Was it Grand Am?
There it is on the left.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing was fucking
Whoa.
rad. That thing was way rad.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
But at least, I mean, it shows you just bringing the car down. Like, you got to chop the shit out of the car and work with the roof line and stuff. But
Yeah, but that can be done.
Yeah, there's some
But look at the
subtle
lower-
tweaks that need to be
yeah,
done.
look at the
to
lower
body,
half
but
of the body. The car's got
Yeah.
it's got some good lines there.
It's got some great lines. Some great potential
I mean,
there.
those cars always look tough as shit, and they were pro stock cars. A lot of pro stock cars.
Yeah.
They had Aero. I mean,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Dude, that
there's
rear
potential.
rear wheelbase wants to go back,
It does.
which helps.
It wants
us.
to go back to here, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at least
Talking three inches you could gain there
Yeah.
easily.
You might be able to if you could get somebody to build CVs, you might be able to get that thing back.
we can. We did the Pantera. We fudged those quite a bit.
I know.
There's some wiggle room there.
That thing might.
This is a call to action.
Yep.
Wasn't there that one company that was
Somebody's gotta
doing
step
almost
forward.
like portals that came off the transaxle?
Yeah, you could do that too. Call to action.
Trent, it's been amazing.
Been a
It's
blast,
been a
dude.
really good time. Love it
Thank
when
you.
we can go through stories, we can hear about the shop, we can hear about everything, and then we can just hang out. That's makes it all that much more fun. And we've built probably what will go down in history as the greatest vehicle of all time.
I think so.
You're in the number one spot by far for
Yeah.
builds, for dream builds.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough to match.
You win there.
Appreciate it, guys.
Oh, we'll see you again next week.
Yep.
Thank you.
What, you're going to say something?
No,
Go
dude.
ahead.
Check you later.
You screwed it all. You screwed it all up.